What is up, everybody? How's the quality? Give me a audio, a video check here. Oh, where are you guys? What's up, everyone? Eat meat, make families, guys. Another live stream today. All right, we got people in the redwoods of California. We got some crazy Vikings out there. We got Don, Mateo, Crazy Cressy, Andrew Donsoon, Krista, Luke. What's up, everyone? We're doing another episode of Eat Meat, Make Families. We're continuing the analysis of Nutrition and Physical Degeneration by Dr. Weston A. Price. This is one of the most important nutrition and anthropology books of the 20th century, and this is all concerning the degeneration of our bodies in the absence of proper nutrition. So today we're going to look at how certain cultures have nourished themselves through the ages, namely how certain cultures in more recent times before modern degenerative diseases have taken over with the wheat, corn, soy, the monocropped, processed foods, high phytates, high plant food, processed junk, corporate Disney food diets take over. Namely, we're going to be looking at isolated and modernized Torres Strait Islanders, as well as, what was the second group? We're looking at Torres Strait Islanders and isolated and modernized New Zealand Maori. Maori. How do you pronounce it? Maori? Maori? Maori tribes. Somebody correct me there. All right, so let's start out with the isolated and modernized Torres Strait Islanders. Now remember, Weston Price traveled around the world in the 1930s trying to figure out why everybody's teeth are rotting out in the Western world. Trying to figure out why you weren't seeing such health, such vitality, such strong countenances in the modern population as you're seeing in these native populations before they adopt Western foods. So now, we're seeing people with massive degeneration. We're seeing, obviously there's certain people, there's certain specimens that are, there's the, let's see if we can find, among the Western populations, especially in the US and the UK and Europe, we're seeing a lot of issues with health. We're seeing a lot of issues with fertility. Obviously there are specimens. This being one of the top advocates of cutting meat out of your diet, of cutting all the native foods out of your diet. In fact, that every single culture is used to maintain fertility. And how convenient, also an advocate of vasectomies. Vasectomies for everyone. Dr. Greger. Just a shining example of beautiful teeth and health. Muscular neck, too. So we're seeing a lot of modern degeneration, and we're going to get into why. We're going to get into Weston Price's theories on what was going on and why everybody's teeth were rotting out, and why he, as the starter of the American Dental Association, the founder, rather, would be a better way of putting it. He founded the American Dental Association, and he was wondering why he's having to drill and fill so many teeth. Why are everybody's teeth crowded? Why are these kids getting dental caries right when their teeth break through? Why are we seeing so much tuberculosis among modernized populations? But then when you look at populations that are eating their native diets, he wanted to figure out what exactly it was that they were focusing on in their diet that was keeping them from getting degeneration, that was keeping them fertile, that was keeping them strong. People like the Maori. Thank you, Handlebar Mustachio. All right, everyone. Someone said Dr. Greger has beautiful teeth. Yeah, obviously, you don't have to make me feel insecure again by bringing up Dr. Greger. The guy is clearly just an incredible specimen of a man. But we can't all thrive on a plant-based diet like the virile Dr. Greger. We can't all do it. The Maori can't. The Torres Strait Islanders can't, and we're going to talk about why and what's going on here. So here's the first page of Chapter 11. It's talking about how it's important to make observations at the point of contact between civilization, where as few factors as possible in the environment have been modified in that contact, by that contact. Wherever groups of people were utilizing seafoods abundantly in connection with land plants, including roots, greens, and fruits. Right? Not just land plants, guys. High levels of animal-based foods. Certain cultures even using almost exclusively animal-based foods, all of them using some sort of animal-based fats and highly revering these animal-based fats. Now, the Torres Strait Islanders were using a lot of seafoods. So these are the inhabitants of the islands north of Australia. What's interesting is Australia, as you see, is a really, really major spot for increased rates of cancer, increased rates of degeneration, neurodegenerative diseases, durian riderism, freely the banana girlism. Who else is from? Isn't Joey Carbstrong, James Osby? Like all these, a lot of these activists are coming out of Australia. A huge push for veganism going on in Australia. We talked about the Aborigines. What a beautiful, strong culture. Did we talk about the Aborigines yet? Have we hit on them? Illiberalatus, what's up, man? You still got that ban hammer? I don't even know how to ban, so if you see any trolls, slam that hammer, my friend. Nice to see you. Crazy Cressy, Nikki. I heard from Sean Baker video that Dr. Greger didn't finish his residency and only did a year. He also has never practiced on anyone. Is this true? You watch your mouth. Okay, Dr. Greger is a demigod. Dr. Greger can do no wrong. He's on television. Saudi princes fund his work, just like they fund plant-based news, Klaus. So Dr. Greger is infallible, and he has never said anything that is not true. How can you say that? Dr. Greger is a fraud, says Moloch Oven. So Dr. Greger apparently didn't finish his residency, only did a year. Calls himself a doctor, giving medical advice. Crazy, crazy, crazy accusations getting thrown out there. Yeah, by the way, Dr. Greger has flown out and hung out with Prince Khalid and Prince bin al-Walid, one of the richest billionaires in the world, who stroked his ego and told him, Dr. Greger, you're a genius. We're going to veganize the world. We're going to help fund your movement. All right. So, let's see. Someone just got put on timeout. Talking shit on my buddy Sean Baker. I like Sean Baker. Don't you bash Mr. Baker, Dr. Baker. About to set a world rowing record. Mr. Cass says Conor McGregor is the king, I guess. Not sure what that has to do with it, but if he goes vegan, imagine the performance enhancement that he would get. All right, so let's check this out. Asiatic and Malay stocks at the point of contact in the north and south, the east and west. In the Torres Strait, there are a number of fertile islands supporting populations from several thousand to a few thousand individuals each. These groups are in an area of the sea that is well stocked with sea animal life, and during the past, they have been sufficiently isolated to provide protection. The racial stocks have retained their identities and include Papuans, New Guineans, Naboigs, I don't know that, Arakuns, Kendals, and Yankas. The splendid dental arches of these groups will be seen in the various illustrations. Many of the girls are quite prepossessing women there. All right, so Weston A. Price was getting a little tickle in his pickle from the ladies, the Torres Strait Islander ladies. He was liking them. Said they was purty. All right, so here we go. They provide modern clothing. Oh, I'm sorry. There were several stores on these islands that were the points of contact between the Australian government and the Torres Strait Island. They would provide clothes, in addition to foods, chiefly white flour, polished rice, canned goods, and sugar. Amazing! Oh, so the lovely philanthropists were going there and they were giving these savages food. You know, I mean, these people were doing the sinful act of taking fish from the ocean and shellfish and seafood and eating the natural vegetation and natural plants that grow there, the abundant sea life. And these enlightened sages went over there and they started providing them with proper nutrition by giving them, they were giving them these lovely modern foods like white flour, polished rice, canned goods, and sugar. Going, high carb, baby. Carb the fuck up. You New Zealanders, and I'm sorry, you Torres Strait Islanders, going and civilizing the savages. So you guys can find Weston Price's book. Those of you who are wondering, there are PDFs available online. Get a physical copy though. Don't read it on the computer. It zonks your face. Print it out if you do get a physical, if you do get a PDF copy. But don't get it from Amazon. If you're in the U.S., I like Thrift Books. Thrift Books is a great source of books. You can get used books, very good quality, usually at even a better price than you're gonna find on. I'm so tempted to eat in front of you guys. I got my 100% cacao bar, 100% chocolate bar. The only plant food I've had all day. But I'm gonna put this away. Get away from me. All right. So they provided them with wheat, corn, soy, white flour, polished rice, canned goods, and sugar. Studies were made on the various islands in the order in which the stores had been installed on them. Some were of volcanic origin, rugged interiors, and deep bays. Other of coral origin. All are abundantly supplied with sea animal life. And if you look at the picture on the left, these are their beautiful teeth. Look how happy these kids look. Happy, healthy children. Not the little iPad, emaciated kids you see today with their iPad babysitters. You know, I mean, these kids look nothing like some of the people's kids in the community that we live in, who feed their kids a vegan diet and deprive them of meat. Don't even give them eggs. There are a lot of vegans in the community that we live in, and we can't tell you how sad it is to see these kids exhibiting signs of autism with no other possible factors, right? These are populations of people who think that they're doing everything right. They're giving their kids a healthy diet. What's that, babe?
The foreigners, not the locals.
We're talking about foreigners, not locals. We're talking about expats. The new age expat vegans who bring their kids here and they feed their kids a vegan diet. And they start to show signs of autism so young. All of their teeth, holes in them, rotting out. Very pallor in complexion, not able to get sufficient vitamin D from the sun, not getting the fat-soluble vitamins they need. It's really, really sad. It's so sad to see these vegetarian and vegan-fed kids. In fact, there's a lot of the traveling hippies in South America from Argentina and Peru. A lot of these families, most of them are vegetarian because they think that's what's cool. It's good for the earth. Mama Gaia wants you to go vegan. Mama Gaia wants you to be vegetarian. Let's do a drum circle, smoke some joints of our little shitty, pesticide-sprayed weed from Colombia, right? And they're giving their kids a vegetarian diet. All their kids, I gave some hitchhikers a ride the other day. Super sad. Every single one of their kids has super crowded dental arches. Nothing like these beautiful children in the Torres Strait Islands eating their natural diets of good whole foods. So I not only have seen the degeneration done by depriving kids of meat and depriving people of meat in our own family, but also in so many other families around here. And it's just becoming so obvious to us. Jessica was talking to a friend of ours the other day, and just hearing some of the stories about the things that these kids are telling her. This one family who feeds their kid like all vegan diet, high fruit, insanity, like super raw vegan, really spiritual. The dad, you see this guy in town, he's just like this sullen, broken man, just always moping around, like just really weird, tight-ass vibe. And his kid, when asked what his favorite food is, eggs, right away. Eggs. The kid wants eggs. And it's so sad seeing these friggin' hippies depriving their kids of vital nutrition. It's so freaking sad. So anyways, in the Badu Islands, this is one of the richest pearl fishing areas in the world. The Badu Islands had a store for the longest period, 23 years. And this was in 1939, guys, so the genocide of this culture is probably already terminated, right? It's probably already gone. These poor people are probably already so degenerated, so dumbed down from their diet, don't even know how to provide for themselves anymore because they've allowed themselves to be brainwashed by the imported food, the sugar, and the wheat. So 586 teeth of 20 individuals were examined. 20.6% had been attacked by tooth decay. Of the individuals examined, 95% had dental caries. 95% of the people having rotting teeth in this population of the first island to receive the imported foods, the sugar. All right, then a little bit further down, another island. The children were examined at the school. 18.8% of the teeth had been attacked by tooth decay. The men examined showed 21.9%. Figures given to me by Dr. Gibson, who was had been taken by the government to the island to make extractions, showed that he found as high as 60% of the teeth had been attacked by tooth decay. Children of this group, 33.3% with abnormal dental arches. On York Island, 1,876 teeth of 65 individuals showed 12.7% attacked by tooth decay, and women 20%, men 12%, children 7%. So as people are aging, they're getting worse tooth decay. The longer they're living, so it's not just the children, it's the adults getting even worse. 33% of the kids had abnormal dental arches. Let's see now. The individuals on this island had been in contact with pearl fisheries industry for several years. Several of the men had been working on the fishing boat. Of the 65 individuals examined, 67.6% had dental caries. Now remember, this is in the order of how long they'd been trading away their food and eating the degenerated food supply. All right, so Darnley Island, 33 individuals showed that of their 900 teeth, 5% had been attacked by 5.7% attacked by tooth decay. The store had been established on the island recently. So they'd only recently become enlightened by the Western diet, by the wheat and the junk foods, and given up their habit of eating seafoods. All right, then on Murray Island, where the store had been recently established, of 1,074 teeth examined on 39 individuals, only 0.7% of the teeth had been attacked by tooth decay. For the women, this amounted to 2%. For men, 1.7%. Children, 0.26%. Only 12.8% of the group had dental caries. The natives were conscious of a danger from the presence on the island of a store providing imported foods. So these savages weren't accepting the enlightened plant-based foods, the enlightened philosophy. The Dr. Gregors of their age. 1939. I wonder how they're doing now. All right, so this has been so serious a problem that there was a question whether it would be safe for us to land, since on the last visit, of the government officials, blood was almost shed because of the opposition the natives had to the government's program. You see, this is not just the, oh, we're going to go in there, we're going to trade. This is like a forceful agenda where you come into an area and you push this colonialist nonsense on people. This has happened to every single culture that's come in contact with the Anglo-American Empire. That's being funded by the same people that are called philanthropists, right? So we're seeing, let's go through a little bit of who's funding the modern movement, right? So back then you had the Royal Society, of course, you had the Huxley family. You had Lord Birkenhead, who we've talked about, from his 1929 Cosmopolitan article. A 1929 Cosmopolitan article all about what the future was going to be like. What is the future going to be like, according to Cosmopolitan magazine? Well, the future was going to be vegan. That was part of it. He also said, we're going to retard the rotation of the earth. Going to just total madness, total psychopathic mind state. Talked about breeding a generation of dollards and sprinkling it with some mural painters to amuse the people in the degenerating cities. So now you get your mural painters. You get Beyonce, who's vegan. You really think Beyonce's vegan? You think Crowleyite Jay-Z's wife, Beyonce, is a vegan? You really think these people are vegan? Leonardo DiCaprio putting all sorts of money into the vegan movement, not even a vegan. So let's pull this up here. Beyond Meat. Let's look at who's funding Beyond Burgers. Beyond Burgers, which are made from water, pea protein isolate, speller-pressed canola oil, refined coconut oil, cellulose from bamboo, which Lord Birkenhead so kindly told us that we will find ways to feed cellulose to the people, and only millionaires will be able to eat real meat. Agriculture will be all but abolished in the future. Babies will be grown in test tubes. This is 1929. In Cosmopolitan magazine, in his op-ed piece, the only piece he ever wrote publicly, suddenly this Lord Birkenhead, with his powdered wig and his picture, and Saturn up over his right shoulder, telling us all about, this is the future, 100 years from now. Save this article for your children. I don't have it pulled up right now. Maybe I should pull it up, but I don't want to waste your time. I got to keep babbling. So here's the Beyond Burger. Look at these lovely, they've even got beet juice color, beet juice extract to make you think it's got real juices in it, to make you think it's real meat. And then look, the Beyond Burger is so much better. Look, it's got protein, iron, less saturated fat, no cholesterol. Remember cholesterol, low cholesterol, being associated with suicide, homicide. Low cholesterol being associated with risky behavior, violence, depression. What do you see? You see a lot of criminals running the vegan hacktivist movement, especially on YouTube. Well, these fake vegan keyboard hacktivists, many of them openly violent in tendencies, many of them former criminals, drug dealers. So here we go. Beyond Burger. Will Bill Gates' smart city go vegan? What do you guys think? Prince Khalid, why I went vegan. So let's talk about Prince. Ooh. Click the vegan celeb, Miley or Britney. This is just the lowest common denominator advertisement, right? Celebrity worship. Prince Khalid partners plant-based chef Matthew Kennedy to transform the food industry. Look at this guy. What a great guy, Prince Khalid. Let's learn about Prince Khalid a little bit. Let's learn about why he went vegan.
High blood pressure and high cholesterol, and being pushed by doctors to take this pill and that pill for the rest of my life, and then going plant-based and losing 25, 30 kilograms and changing my life to the better. It really opened my eyes to see that this is really the future of how I want to live my life. You know, the evidence is clear. Fluent, and vibe attracts your tribe. So I was very lucky to grow up with a father like mine.
So a father like his. Who's his father? Let's see who is little Prince Khalid's father. Let's read his biography. He's a member of the Saudi Arabian royal family. So just like a humble philanthropist, right? Saudi royal family. We all know that the Saudi Arabian royal family are just like really stand-up dudes. Real stand-up people. He was born in California. What a nice guy. So his father actually owns 3% of Twitter. His father's a philanthropist, though. You know, I mean, when you get to Bond villain level savage, Bond villain level misanthropy, you get to call yourself a philanthropist on Wikipedia, and all the publications that you own get to call you a philanthropist and fawn over your philanthropy. So he's investing in robotic parking systems, KBW investment firm, big investment firm, investing all over the Western world, especially in, let's see, what are the sectors that they invest in? This is his father. Let's read about his father. The stockholder in the sand, worth an estimated $27 billion, the enigmatic Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, has very public holdings. He's the second largest voting shareholder in News Corp. He owns Paris's George V Hotel and part of New York City's Plaza Hotel. He's a stockholder in Apple, will soon own the world's tallest building. But the private origins and exact size of his massive fortune are the subject of continued debate. Ooh, what a surprise. So as we all know, you know, the British royal family, the Saudi royal family, British Israel, you know, all these people, they like to work together. So these are some of the people also starting NEOM, the futurist city, the transhumanist city of the future, where in Saudi Arabia, a robot has been given citizenship. Yeah. So AI robot Sophia, named after the goddess of wisdom in the Gnostic tradition, given citizenship. All right, let's see. Calorie counting cell phone addict who loves texting James Murdoch. How does he really spend his free time? Throwing dwarves? So we've got a midget tossing Prince Al-Walid, the father of one of the biggest investors in the Beyond Burger. The prince's defenders hasten to put it all in context. Dwarves are outcasts in Saudi Arabia. Wait, where'd it go? Dwarves are outcasts in Saudi Arabia. When they come begging, Al-Walid in his great benevolence hires them to be a roving band of court jesters, thus instilling in them a work ethic, and you can't really fault that. So, I mean, this is a philanthropist. Like, he hires these dwarves to let him humiliate and toss them. So, I mean, this is an amazing man. This is a really good dude. You know, just ask Klaus from Plant-Based News. This is who's behind the vegan movement, guys. People like this. Bill Gates openly wants to depopulate the third world, especially Africa. Bill Gates loves talking about depopulation of Africa. What else? I mean, just really, really strange article. I suggest you guys check this one out. The Stockholder in the Sand from Vanity Fair, 2013. The dwarf-throwing billionaire. This is Business Insider. What year was this? 2012. The dwarf-throwing billionaire who's buying up America. Tales of the mysterious Prince Al-Walid. So this guy owns a yacht that was used as a Bond villain's yacht in one of these 70s Bond films. The guy just looks like a Bond villain, right? Look at that guy. Like, if you were trying to cast, like, the quintessential 90s Bond villain, or, like, G.I. Joe villain, or in the 90s it was, like, all the Middle Eastern villains before we really started bringing freedom over there to Iraq and Afghanistan. And it got pre-programmed with all these Middle Eastern villains. But, yeah, he offered how many millions of dollars to Rudy Giuliani after 9/11, like the day after. Really interesting. So Al-Walid, one of Saudi Arabia's thousands of princes, likes to be called the Warren Buffett of the Middle East. The Al-Walid he invested in Apple just before Steve Jobs turned it around. Whoo, lucky bet there. Second largest shareholder in News Corp, owns a big stake in Time Warner. Last month took a $300 million stake in Twitter back in 2012. Bought into Twitter. So don't be tweeting about Prince Khalid and the vegan agenda, guys. Daddy owns that. So this is the father of...
very affluent, and obviously a philanthropist, and clearly blessed with being one of the most successful businessmen in the world. So that really helped shape who I am in terms of working and striving to be the best at my passion and my field. And after highlighting it and after reading it, we're in investment banking, but it's in making the world better. In August 2017, I gave my dad How Not to Die. Thank you, Dr. Greger. After highlighting it and after reading it and reading it again and again and again, in December or January, actually February, he asked that Dr. Greger would come over to Saudi and meet my dad and have a one-on-one so he can ask questions and all that stuff.
Dr. Greger gotta chuck some midgets. Maybe sniff some coke with the Al-Walid family. No, it's like they probably, like, look at this. This is so sad. Dr. Greger, just a useful idiot. Like, just so malnourished. Look at his neck. Dr. Greger flies over there. Look at little snake Prince Khalid. Like, we're going to make so much freaking money. Dude, these people own palatial estates that are so ridiculous. Just go check out their holdings on just go look at their Wikipedia page. His daddy, Khalid ibn Al-Walid. Oh no, this is the grandfather. Where's his sons? Well, anyways. KBW Investments. Investing in Beyond Meat, the Beyond Burger, as well as Tyson Foods being the biggest investor. Where'd it go? Beyond Meat. Let's see who the big investors are. Come on now. 17 million. Bill Gates. Innovative Fund, Kleiner Perkins, Caulfield and Byers. Here, let's check out the investors in Beyond Meat. Wait, wrong page. Investors, Crunchbase, Beyond Meat's investors. We've got General Mills. The top investors got Cleveland Avenue, the Humane Society, Tyson Foods. You got Tyson Foods, General Mills, Obvious Ventures, I don't know who Obvious Ventures in, but you got General Mills, Tyson Foods, Bill Gates, as well as Prince Khalid investing in these foods. They call themselves philanthropists, right? Well, let's see what this philanthropy is all about. Let's look more into what happens when this philanthropy comes in contact with these civilizations. First of all, we've seen the Torres Strait Islanders' teeth rapidly degenerate. They start to get more degenerative diseases. Where is my... I have too much pulled up here, guys. We've got a lot of material to go through today. A lot of potential material to go through. Very few of it, which we'll probably get to. So these pictures tell an interesting story. The grandmother shown in the lower right knew the importance of seafood for her children and grandchildren and did the fishing herself. Note the beautiful teeth and the well-formed faces of her daughters. Beautiful teeth, well-formed faces. So over on Hammond Island, it's really fertile, and of 27 individuals, all native stock, 16.5% of their 732 teeth had been attacked by dental caries, and 40% of the individuals showed some deformity. After examining the children at the mission school, I inquired whether there were not families on the island that were living entirely isolated from contact with modern influences. Again, this is Nutrition and Physical Degeneration by Weston A. Price. Really, really important work. Just showing you that sorry guys, turn that over. These plant-based foods, these degenerative conditions that we're so used to seeing in the Western world are completely exacerbated by the lack of proper nutrition, and that when societies come in contact with these foods, they rapidly degenerate physically, morally, mentally. And the contact with these foods is essentially straight up genocide of all these cultures. I need a new mod in here. Andrew, you want to be a mod? Andrew, you're a mod. Anybody who comes on talking nonsense or like, any nonsense, ban them. All right. So, unlike Thursday, let's see. So, I was taken to the far side of the island to find an isolated family that wasn't in contact with the modern foods. I was taken to the far side of the island. They were raising vegetables, including bananas, pumpkins, and pawpaws. In the cases of the 3 girls in the family, one with a child 5 months of age, only 6 of their 84 teeth had been attacked by by tooth decay, or 7.1%, as compared with 16.5% of the entire group on this island. These 3 girls all had normally developed dental arches and normal features. 3 of the girls are shown in figure 63. We inquired about the mother, and we were told that she was out fishing, notwithstanding the fact that the sea was quite rough. While we were there, she came in with 2 fish. Here was one of the principal secrets of their happiness and success in life. So it's not just keeping them away from degenerative foods. It's also making them happy to go out there and actually live, right? You see so much of this fake activism out there, all these Antifa people throwing feces on people, right? So much degenerative activity because these people are totally unhappy and disconnected from real, meaningful life, real, meaningful activity. Luke says pawpaws are awesome. They're almost ripe here. That's cool, man. And you see, so it's not... The plant foods are not bad. Every one of these cultures use them if they had them available to a certain extent, but not ever exclusively plant foods. The only family on this island that had less dental caries, half the dental caries of anybody else, was because the mom was fishing. And these kids had perfect dental arches. So they asked the mother, Here was one of the principal secrets of their happiness and success in life. The Catholic priest who was in charge of the mission on the island told me that this family practically never asked for assistance of any kind and was always in a position to help others. They were happy and well-nourished. It's important to note that the progressive degeneration in facial form, which occurred in many of the families on the other islands, was not found in this family. The incidence of dental caries ranged from 20.6% of all the teeth examined for the various age groups on Badu Island to 0.7% on Murray Island. A group of individuals from this island will be seen in figure 64. All right, so let's pull up figure 64 here. Those are my buddies. Man. So those are the kind of guys you want. Like you want those guys as employees. These are the guys you want to work with. These are the people you want to have as your neighbors. Not the lazy, degenerated people who start getting the traded food, start getting malnourished, stealing, involved in criminal activity. Dude, when I was a vegan, everybody I knew, all the vegans I knew used to steal and shoplift all the time. I remember seeing this vegan. It was like the only raw vegan in Santa Cruz. This guy I went to college with. I remember seeing him loading up his bag of kale at the farmer's market from this really nice organic family farm and just walking off, just jacked a bag full of kale. It's really funny, actually. The guy that got me into veganism that I met in 2008 or 2009 is in prison for robbing banks. Got arrested in Cafe Gratitude, the raw vegan restaurant where the Cafe Gratitude people, they're famous for being attacked and threatened when they stopped being vegans because they didn't want to die. They didn't want to sacrifice their lives at the altar of the crickets and the cows. So on Murray Island, only 0.7% had tooth decay, whereas 20% of all teeth examined on Badu Island had tooth decay. What's the difference? Murray Island, they're eating fish. Natives of this island are conscious of the superior food of their locality and wish that their people were not required to purchase food from the government store. So, I mean, it gets kind of frustrating reading every single one of these stories and just seeing, are you guys starting to see a pattern here? Are you starting to see a pattern? Somebody's mentioning about Israel having a lot of vegan activism, and that's absolutely true. I get a lot of Israelis contacting me and telling me just how rampant it is there and how sad it is to see all this crazy vegan activism out there. Hey, Ryder, come here, dude. So, I mean, you got, like, people like, I don't know if, what's up, dude? You want to come over here? Mama's outside. You want to say hi? All right. You got Ryder here. Dude. Just up from his nap. Ryder's not feeling it. He doesn't want to wake up. So, yeah, Israel, very, very rampant vegan activism over there. You know, you've got, here's a picture of, got James Aspie, dude. It's like, peace, man. Like, peace for the animals. James Aspie did a 1 year vow of silence for the animals. And during that whole year, he didn't even, like, he didn't eat any animals. He didn't even talk. So I think you guys should go to James Aspie's, Twitter or Instagram and see if you can get him to do another vow of silence for, like, 30 years, maybe. Or, like, just do a vow of silence forever. Also, you know, Joey Carbstrong, another Australian over there in Israel, promoting veganism. Yeah, I mean, malnourished populations are much more easy to get into these fake activist, you know, completely disconnected movements. Hey, Jessica? Jessica? Can you come get Ryder? Here you go, dude. There she goes. See you, bud. Look at those Joey Carbstrong eyes. Just always with those eyes, man. He's really funny. Joey Carbstrong. So just another one of these lovely vegan activists. I think he's conscious of how crazy eyed he is, so he tries to find pictures where he's not crazy eyes, but just always like deer in the headlights, like, please don't search me for meth eyes. No, officer, I've not been smoking meth eyes. James Aspie. James Aspie, dude. James Aspie and Joey Carbstrong. I think Joey just feels really insecure around James because Joey, he's sober. And James Aspie just, like, rips some bong lids right before his protest, dude. James Aspie's always ripping bong lids right before the protest. Bong lids for the animals. Well, only bong lids of veganic herb. You know, he only smokes veganic herb. All right, so let's go back. Where'd it go? Nope. There we go. So here's some, you know, healthy, happy individuals who, you know, work, have skills, know how to fish. know how to actually do things that are valuable, could probably build a house, probably are fertile and have little swimmers in them test the cows, and probably have not been given a vasectomy by Dr. Greger. Dr. Greger being a big promoter of vasectomies. Alright, so natives on this island are conscious of their superior food. They're pissed off that they're forced to buy the foods from the government store. So I'm not sure how they're doing now on Murray Island. But can only imagine that this poor culture has already been genocided by this colonialist nonsense. Okay, so the island situated on the barrier reef with an abundant supply of small fish. Swarms of fish are often so dense that the natives throw a spear with several prongs into the school of fish, and when the spear is drawn back, there are several fish on it. So they're eating fish and seafood. Abundance of fish. So on the coasts of Ecuador and Peru, you see the same thing. The people, they've always been very difficult to conquer on the coasts of Ecuador and Peru. Up until now, with the banana plantations, where they've sprayed them with pesticides and totally destroyed their health of the health of the populations on the coast. The health of the populations on the coast are completely destroyed by these activists, by Freely the Banana Whore and Durian Rider. What is he even doing now? Remember when he used to talk about everybody being on steroids, and then he started taking steroids? I saw a video, a recent video from Durian Rider maybe a few weeks ago, and it was like a softcore porn. There was like, he had this new girlfriend, and the beginning of the video was like a close-up zoomed in on her tits. She was like bouncing around, and then they were like, she was bench pressing. It's like, hi, carb vegan. And then he was like showing his teeth, which everybody knows are fake teeth. He's talking about fruit doesn't rot your teeth. It was really sad. I mean, that guy's just gone, you know, totally insane with his fruitarianism. And we'll talk about fruitarianism in the second hour, I think, which it's almost time to talk to our guest today. We got a call in from a former vegan who's got an interesting story. We'll see how that goes. We got a vegan couple who actually made it through together, made it out the other side. You know, they're blessed enough to stay together after their vegan diet, and you know, not blame it on each other and you know, march off and sterilize themselves. I'm not sure if they have kids now, if they're eating meat and making families, but you know, you don't have to have children to eat meat and make families. You don't have to have children to eat meat and take back your culture. So these people would fish. Small sharks were all around. This condition provides abundant food for sharks, many of which could be seen surrounding the schools of small fish. Encircling the group, they dashed in, mouths open, and gorged themselves with the massive fish from the water. I'm talking about the sharks, not our buddies here. They just chuck a spear in there, and they get like 3 fish on a single spear. Savages, right? All these poor, unenlightened, cruelty to animal, slaver, raper men, as the vegans would call them. So no respect for any of the native cultures of the world in the vegan plant-based movement, because it is a colonialist movement funded by Saudi princes, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, who want to sterilize Africa, and General Mills and Tyson Foods. Biggest processed foods producer, Tyson Foods, one of the biggest so-called fake meat industry giants, who don't care about meat at all. It's about food consolidation. It's about processed crap food. Why do you think McDonald's has vegan options? Why do you think A&W is serving the Beyond Burger? Because it's about the bottom line. And downstream, you have massive corporate profits to be made from Bayer Monsanto. Remember, guys, Bayer purchased Monsanto for $66 billion and now gets to fund, or gets to actually profit off the back end of the physical degeneration and health degeneration that we see there. So these guys love their life, hunting for fish. Birds are just diving in there getting the fish. While there's a difference of opinion as to whether some species of sharks will attack human beings, we saw one pearl diver who bore enormous scars received from the jaws of a shark. So just brave dudes. So they're like, screw it, man. Like, these sharks aren't going to bite me. But every once in a while, one of them gets slammed by a shark. But they don't care. They got an abundance of food. Their life is meaningful. They have families. They're fertile. They're happy. They're healthy. They're strong, beautiful people. All right, the next page. Here's the contrast, right? So these are the guys on the native diet. Here's what happens. First generation. Look at the teeth. The contrast between the primitive and modernized natives in facial and dental arch form is as striking here as elsewhere. These young natives were born to parents who had adopted our modern foods of commerce, Note the narrowed faces and dental arches with pinched nostrils and crowding of the teeth. Their magnificent heredity could not protect them. This isn't just heredity, right? So at the time when Weston Price was traveling around, the people were saying that it was just heredity. Just heredity. Okay. All right, among the inhabitants of the Torres Strait Islands, almost all individuals who had been born before the foods of modern civilization had become available had perfect dental arches. Islands where a store had been established for some time, where imported foods were available for several decades, many individuals were found who had been born since the use of the imported foods. They had gross deformities of the dental arches, typical depression of the laterals, narrowing of the upper arch, and abnormal prominence of the cuspids due to the lack of space. Some more images, crowded dental features. Here's some of the whites on the islands. They, of course, preferred the modern foods because of the Enlightenment philosophy that was brainwashed into them. They are the peak of Darwinian evolution. We are dominating the planet with our social Darwinism. And we must educate all these savages into the ways of the British Empire. The Darwinian ways. This Malthusian paradigm of there being too many people on the planet. Too many people are breeding. We must quantify CO2. We must say that your exhalations will be taxed. Right? So you got Bill Gates saying that your farts are going to be taxed. Right? You got Bill Gates pushing for carbon taxes. Al Gore pushing for carbon taxes through the IMF and World Bank, which unfortunately was just given a green light to come back into our home country of Ecuador, where we live. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if we're allowed to have natural weather much longer. All right, so it would be difficult to find a more happy and contented people than the primitives in the Torres Strait Island, as they lived without contact with modern civilization. Indeed, they seem to resent very acutely the modern intrusion. They hate it. They know what it's doing to their culture and their children. They know that it's genocide, and they don't want this. But it's forced on them, just like the vegan agenda is being forced on us. And this is the history of the 20th century. This is the history of Enlightenment philosophy, rational empiricism, right? Bill Gates, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Saudi princes, Prince Al-Weed, bin Al-Weed, Prince Khalid, Saudi royals, British Royal Society, funding this stuff and pushing Monsanto Bayer products. Bayer Monsanto. Bayer being the parent company of Monsanto. Bayer, formerly IG Farben of Germany. Right? The history of these companies. This is a shell game. People pretend like there's a meat industry anymore. The big meat. You're a shill for big meat. No. There's no such. The vegans will tell you that Weston Price was a shill for big meat. The entire latter half of this book is all about soil regeneration and how modern agricultural practices and growing grains is destroying our health and the health of our soil and the health of our children and the future of every single race on this planet, the entire human race. So the vegan agenda is what's a problem here. I don't care if you're going to eat vegan foods. That's cool. It makes me sad when you push it on your kids and their teeth are rotting out and you pretend like you're enlightened because of it. It makes me sad when your teeth are falling out of your face, when you're breaking your foot. Like this dude I know is vegan, like broke his foot for the second time in like a couple months. Last time he broke his foot, he was going to fast to fix it. It's just like these people are degenerating, and it's really, really sad. But the problem is when you're pushing it with violence, with legislation, with propaganda, and you're trying to destroy noble cultures with this, and when I got to see your poor little kids acting autistic because of it, unable to look people in the eyes and really connect. You know, when my kids are like, they have to ask us, like, why are these kids so different? What's going on? It's sad to me. It really makes me sad, but this is what it is. Just don't force this on other cultures. That's the problem. No problem with vegans, guys. It's the ism. It's the powers and principalities. It's the force behind it. It's the reasons you do things. Okay? So this is funded for a reason. These people are not lazy, but they do not struggle over hard to obtain food. Their home life reaches a very high ideal, and among them there is practically no crime. in their native state. In their native state, they have exceedingly little disease. Dr. J.R. Nimmo, the government physician in charge of the supervision of this group, told me in his 13 years with them, he had not seen a single case of malignancy, which is what they called cancer back then because it wasn't as big of a problem. Not a single case of cancer there. Well, but the animal foods cause cancer. They're getting the animal foods, they're going to get cancer. No, none of these people have cancer. None of these people have cancer. Only one that he had suspected might be malignancy among the entire 4,000 native population. During the same period, he had operated on several dozen malignancies for the white population, which numbers about 300. 300. He reported that among the primitive stock, other affections required surgical interference were rare. The environment of the Torres Strait Islanders provides a liberal supply of seafoods and fertile islands on which an adequate quantity of tropical plants are readily grown. Taro, bananas, papaya, plums, all grown abundantly. The seafoods include large and small fish in great abundance. Dugong, which are the sea cows. All those poor sea cows, man, like James Asper. Oh, the vegan, Dr. Greger. You know, the vegan propagandists will tell you it's just so evil to kill these animals. Fight for the animals. Well, over there in Israel, people's health is degenerating because of this. It's just insanity. So, that's the end. They ate a bunch of shellfish, dugong, large and small fish in great abundance, and then also had taro, bananas, papayas, and plums. So locally grown, seasonal fruits and vegetables, not canned foods, not sugar, not corn, wheat, soy. None of the soy boy slop, not eating Beyond Meat. These people don't need to be enlightened by vegans. These people know how to live without disease, without crime. You criminal vegan activists need to stay out of these noble cultures. Right? And we have to speak up against this. People like Bill Gates, out there evangelizing the world on how to live and what's good and what's right, need to be shouted down and chanted down because this agenda is destroying the world under the auspices of being green, going green. You're going to get heart disease if you eat animal foods. If you don't go green, you're going to hell. You're going to vegan hell. All right, so we didn't even get into the Maori. Maybe we'll talk about the Maori next time. You know, I mean, it's really fun talking about this book, although it's kind of upsetting. You know, I do find myself getting a little bit worked up just seeing the genocide of all these beautiful cultures. And, you know, one of these days we'll get into the people of the Andes, the Peruvian highlands, the jungles of the Amazon, where these unenlightened, foolish little people are not vegan either, where they're eating fish, animal foods that they depend on for their health, that they depend on for fertility. In the Andes, one of the most important fertility foods was actually the egg of a fish from the coast, angelote. And they would import this egg all over. They would dry it, and they would bring it up to the Andean highlands because in the Andean highlands, due to the washout from all the glacial meltwaters and all the rain, you don't have much iodine. So there was always trade going on between the coast and the Andean highlands. People were growing coca in the foothills of the Andes and trading them for fertility foods from the coast, and also alpaca, llama, and other animal products, wild meats. Of course, these people are just, you know, unenlightened, and they need to be forced to buy the government soylent slop, according to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Saudi royalty, and these other NGOs, big government organizations that are destroying cultures. So it's really sad to see, but this is the reality that we're living in. But you can see the common thread through all of these cultures. The common thread through all these cultures is they understand how to take care of themselves. And if you simply use the principles that they have used for thousands of years, seafoods, shellfish, animal meats, organ meats, bone marrow, animal fats, butter, dairy foods, full-fat dairy, all of these cultures maintained fertility rates, low crime rates, and health. So this is why we did this book, the Ketogenic Edge Cookbook. After our daughter experienced massive dental caries, we had to figure out what the heck is going on here, and was our vegan diet the cause of this? Because we started seeing all the other vegans we know have massive issues with their kids, including highly autistic symptoms. Of course, none of them have been, diagnosed autistic because they don't go to doctors, because they're enlightened, they know how to treat their children with fruits and fasting, right? Your kid just needs more green juice. Your kid just needs more soy. So that's why we have an entire section on heritage foods, organ meats, right? We teach you how to make these foods, basic, simple foods. The odd bit section is really cool. This whole book is based on whole nutrient-dense foods. Teach you how to make pemmican, which is a native North American recipe. It was really awesome. All right. So really, really important that we understand this cultural genocide and physical genocide of every single race that's happening on this planet. Look at these vegans. Some of these vegans, that's so funny. Alex the Carnivore, you're getting a ban hammer. Not you're getting banned, but you just got upgraded to mod status, my friend. Smash the trolls. I just blocked that one guy, but I don't have time to come through here and block these genocidal maniac vegans who come on here to spread their enlightenment. So go ahead, use it wisely. Don't ban good people. But don't come on here and troll. This isn't Flat Earth Society discussion. Don't come on here and tell me the Earth is flat. That's for other channels. You go play around there. We're talking nutrition and physical degeneration. And we're talking about how to heal from degenerative vegan diets. So, Race Clever, you're gone, dude. You've been banned. Mr. Cast, Michael Dennis, what's up, everyone? So yeah, guys, that's why we made this book, the Ketogenic Edge Cookbook, whole nutrient-dense, unrefined foods. This is it's all nutrient-dense foods. No aspartame, peanut butter, fat bombs, or anything like that. Just real foods. Real foods. All right. And it's not like a carnivorous diet, but we do teach you how to make really awesome heritage foods. Pemmican with liver and heart. That's one of my favorites. Real foods, real fats come from animals, guys. Butter, fatty steaks, tallow, fatty cuts of meat. I tried carnivore, but it's not for me. It's boring, Mr. Cass says. Nobody has to do carnivore, right? I was just saying because I was focusing on the animal foods, which are the foods that most people think are bad. It's just quick meals. Learn how to make quick meals, nutrient-dense foods, not full of phytates, oxalates, salicylates, abrasive fibers. Just keeping it to the essential nutrients. Getting in the vitamin A, the vitamin D, the vitamin K2 is really, really crucial for our health, for our longevity. And these are the foods that all of these cultures are focusing on. Shellfish, seafoods, bone marrow, heart, liver, organ meats, fatty cuts of meat, seasonal fruits and vegetables. All right, so hashtag eat meat, make families, guys. Eat meat, take back your cultures, eat meat. Don't allow your culture to degenerate. Your interview with Sferge was awesome. I haven't gone raw, but I've gone rarer. I love it rare. So that's the thing. I don't like the raw meat, but my steak is so damn rare. So if you guys didn't see the interview with Sferge, I say Sferge because everybody who's American, I know it's not how you say it. You're supposed to say Sfere, but his real name is Gattis. He's a funny guy. He's got some really, really interesting perspectives on things. But even like our diets are very different. But I totally appreciate what he does of calling out the vegan agenda for what it is. And he makes some great videos. Veganism, the epitome of malnourishment, are some of the most important vegan videos out there. All he does is take compilations from these vegan people on YouTube. Some of them are like frightening, right? One of those videos actually, Spheria is how you say it. Sorry. Some of them are frightening. I've got some of these crazy fruitarian videos pulled up that we could talk about later, but first, we're going to be talking about healing from a vegan diet. So we got a call in. We got a lovely couple here who's gonna jump on the stream, talk about eating meat and making families. Let's do this. I'm about 12 minutes late to call them. Late to my own party. All right, we've been doing a lot of vegan call-ins. Former vegans, now hashtag eat meat make families. Marco Polo says media shames both eating meat and making family. Remember, guys, hashtag eat meat make families, he says. All right. What do you think of camel fat? I think that sounds delicious. If you look at actually the Arab populations, they were heavily living off of camel milk and camel fat. And I've wanted to try it. Hey!
Hey!
How's our connection? All right, cool.
Good. Is my screen okay? Because
Yeah.
I can see stripes.
I see stripes, but it's cool. I feel like I'm back in 1990.
Okay. I don't know. My camera does this sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. So
It's okay.
I
It's
don't
just
know.
it's when you get your health back, you're just the pure magnetism of your body is throwing off the camera. Like you're so much vitality. You're taking the electrons from the camera. It's all good. So. Really nice to meet you. We talked in a private message before. I think you came on and mentioned your story before in one of my Instagram live streams. And is that how we met?
Yeah. Basically, my husband told me to write to you because we've been watching you for a while, and he just wanted me to tell my story because it's been, I think, about 18, 17 years as a vegetarian. All in all, but I did spend the last 8 years mostly on a vegan diet. So, yeah. And I've got, I don't know, it's been most of my life, so I've got a lot to say, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, how did this all start? How did it all begin?
Sorry, it's saying poor connection. Let me just close something quick.
Okay, cool. You know what? I can, maybe if you have
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How's that? Is that good?
Yeah, it's okay right now.
You know what I'm gonna do?
So,
I'm gonna turn off. I'll turn off my video if that's cool. But all right, how's that?
Sorry, what was that?
I
turn my video off?
I would like you to leave your video on if you can.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I think that's a bit better.
Cool. Perfect. So I got my video off, and if you have the stream pulled up, if you put that down, that'll give you more bandwidth too. I mean, if you close the window.
Yeah, I closed that.
All right. Cool.
I closed that. Okay, so should I just start from the beginning? I actually made notes, but I didn't finish because it's like so long.
It's so good. Isn't it fun to reflect on these things too? Like you forget just how you forget how different you felt back then. So yeah, how did it start? How did you even hear about veganism?
Yeah. Okay, so I was about, I think, 14 when I first heard about veganism, and I tried it a few times, but I kept cheating, like eating cheese and chocolate and everything. So, I tried to be a vegan for a while, and that didn't work out. And then I watched, this is really lame, but I watched, it's a really, really bad band. I don't think any adults listen to them, Goldfinger.
Goldfinger, whoa, I remember them. I had their CD when I was like 10 or 12. They're like they're a pop punk band.
Yeah, really, really bad band. I actually listened to them the other day just to reflect a bit. Really bad. And they had like a video on their CD called Free Me, and it was like all the animal slaughter, cruelty, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to eat meat anymore. And then I just stopped. And that was the last time. I think that was like it was during Christmas or something. I think Christmas Day was the last time I ate meat. And then that was it.
Yeah.
And then, I started, I can't really remember if my eating problems started just before then or just after that. But I started getting really, I guess you can call it disordered eating problems, a lot of binging, a bit of purging, stuff like that. And I don't know, I think it just made me more aware of my body and stuff. And I put on weight actually with the vegetarian diet in the beginning because I don't know, I was still eating a lot of cheese and stuff, replacing all the meat and stuff with cheese.
Yeah.
And then, anyway, I lost the weight. I used to be like a crazy dieter at such a young age. And then, what happened next? I've got my notes here. Oh yeah, so I kept on getting bad stomach cramps and a lot of pain, a lot of bloating, and my mom took me to a dietitian, and they just said, oh, you probably got IBS. And she told me, oh, you shouldn't be a vegetarian, it's really unhealthy for you, you should eat meat at least once a month. And I was like, no way, she must be such a terrible dietitian.
Right, yeah.
Well, tell me if you can't hear me, because I keep on getting this poor internet connection thing. Maybe I should move to the other room.
We're totally fine from my end. I would just ignore it. I'll tell you if you start breaking up, and then you can move, but you're good.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So, yeah, she told me I had IBS, and nothing they can really do. She just gave me some stupid little recipes to cook and stuff like that. And then I just went on, and then I moved overseas by myself when I was 18, so I was still quite young, and I was away from my parents. Now, every time, because I've moved overseas a few times by myself, and every time I'm away from my family, I seem to just spiral out of control, like with the eating and everything. So, yeah, I was binging a lot, I put on a lot of weight, and I started stressing out, going on diets and everything to lose all this weight, blah, blah, blah. And then when I got back, I think after the second time of being overseas, when I came back, I met my husband, and then I put on more weight because we were partying together.
Yeah.
And yeah, then I don't know what happened first. I think I was watching, this was before like there were so many YouTube channels and websites about veganism.
So
and
it was
like
2005
Africa.
maybe? I was going to ask you if you're South African, yeah.
Yeah, I'm South African.
And South Africa is they're a very meat heavy culture, right? Like you guys got kudu, really good meats there, but it seems like veganism's kind of getting popular there somehow.
Yeah. This was only in like, I think 2009, 2010, but like I wasn't really into YouTube or anything. And also we didn't have many vegan ingredients and stuff in the shops here at that point. Okay, I'm in Dublin now, so I shouldn't say yeah, but anyway. And then, yeah, I got the Alicia Silverstone book, The Kind Diet or something, after a while. And
that's so funny. So she was a vegan activist? I didn't know that. The chick from Clueless.
Yeah, she is. Yes, yeah.
She's like, oh my God, veganism is so much better. If you do veganism, you can have Paul Rudd as a boyfriend.
Yeah, so I read her book, and that's when I discovered, after being vegan for a little while, but after reading her book, I discovered the whole foods plant-based diet. So I started that, and then I got really thin, and my husband started it soon after me, and it did help us. Like, I had chronic hay fever and allergies, and it did help.
Yeah.
That completely went away, and I felt really good the first while. And my husband also lost a lot of weight, and he had really bad acid reflux, heartburn, like ulcers, all those kind of things, and that really helped him. And I think we stayed super strict for about 2 to 3 years, I think almost 3 years. But anyway, before that happened, we went overseas again, and we met some vegans. And that was like the biggest mistake ever, because these vegans at a potluck were like the worst people ever. They were giving me so much crap because they said I was a health food vegan or something.
You weren't principled, like you're not hardcore. Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst. Did they yell at you? Because vegans, I've seen, like, we were talking to a friend of ours and her neighbors are vegans, and she basically helped these people to get their house and rent it, and they come into her home and like berate her for, don't you know what that do to the animals? And these people's health are like destroyed. Their kids' teeth are rotting out and shit. It's like, it's so sad, and they're constantly screaming and trying to push their little thing on her. This is the worst.
Yeah, it is the worst. And they were eating... Like, I was actually, I did feel bad for the animals. That's why I first went vegetarian when I was, like, really young. But I was also doing it for my health, obviously. And they were just like, I don't know, they always used to just say snide comments and stuff. And they were eating like so much tofu, cupcakes, soy, all this stuff, fake cheese and stuff, which we didn't even have in South Africa really before I went to the UK. So yeah, sorry, I've still got a bit of brain fog, so brain fog, so I'm a bit.
Yeah. You told me that she told me all right, for the audience. She told me she's super shy, but I think she's doing really well.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps saying how awesome you are. So, all positive comments. I had to ban one guy because he was perving out a bit. So you obviously you're doing well.
I thank you so much. No, it's this is like a bit of exposure therapy for me because I've been a bit of a recluse the last while.
Oh.
Anyway, so yeah, what happened next? Where was I? Oh yeah, so they kept on. I don't know. They were pushing all their junk food on me and stuff because I was a healthy eating vegan. Okay, they weren't really pushing. They didn't put a gun to my head or anything. And that's when, because I'd been on the whole foods vegan diet, I didn't touch sugar. I was super strict. I didn't touch sugar for, I think, almost 3 years. And then I started eating sugar when I was with these people, and it just got me like totally addicted to sugar again.
Isn't it funny, the ethical vegan crowd, they basically are like, I mean, at least they're honest. They say, screw health. Veganism has nothing to do with health. This is about principles. This is about a religious crusade for the animals. And at least they're honest, right? So, but man, they got you on the sugar. They were like, don't worry about health. Like, you're a wussy if you do this health food vegan stuff. You got to join the crusade.
Yeah.
We got to kill the carnivores.
For sure. Yes. And I'm forgetting a whole bunch of things, but I'm sure I'll remember them as we go. But the one thing was that I had gluten intolerance, so I went to the doctor because I was having some problems, and they said, oh, they'll do a celiac disease test or something on me, but I have to eat gluten for a few weeks or something before they can do the test to see if it shows up. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I started eating a lot of gluten, but then we came home quickly for some reasons, some personal reasons. We came back to South Africa, so I didn't actually end up going for the test. But then I was like, oh, gluten's so good. I love it so much. I was just piling it in because it's been like a few years without it. And I was in so much pain with this gluten stuff. Anyway, that's beside the point right now. So, yeah, then I came back to South Africa and I put on all the weight from the gluten diet and stuff. Yeah, so then I started like panicking. I was like, let me go back on whole foods diet like I was before. I go back on and I'm not losing weight at all. Weeks go by, I'm not losing any weight. I'm still in pain. My skin was really bad, like really bad acne. And what happened after that? Yeah, that didn't work. So then I discovered Freely and a bunch of other
Freely, the fruit crowd, man, the fruit bats, right?
Yeah, and what Mango Island Mama, who is now Ellen Fisher.
Oh, that's so sad. She's the one who promotes veganism for children, huh?
Yes, but she used to be a raw vegan, so she used to give her first kid like a fully raw vegan diet.
What's up with their teeth?
Anyway,
how are their teeth?
Yeah, really bad. So, sorry, you broke up a bit there. So, yeah, I decided to go on this stupid diet, Banana Island. I don't know if you heard about it.
What is that? Like 30 bananas a day, but
it's like
on an island?
So you just go a few days on like a cleanse of just a mono fruit. So you just eat like, for example, bananas for like a week, or however long you want to do it, or mangoes or whatever. So I did that, and I actually really don't like fruit. I only like berries and kiwi fruits. I much preferred vegetables, and I was forcing myself to have these like 10 banana smoothies. Bananas, like I'd have like 20 a day or something. I was going to the shops and people were looking at me like I was insane because I was buying trolley loads of bananas. It was the worst diet ever. It was disgusting. I feel so thirsty all the time.
I was just talking about just a reminder to everybody, one of the biggest ecological devastations that I've ever seen in my life is on the coast of Ecuador, from the banana plantations where they drive airplanes over it to spray pesticides all over it. These people were nearly impossible for the Inca Empire to assimilate because they had such an abundance of food and such a nice, clean habitat. They were connected to the earth. They were connected to the sun. They were eating loads of good, healthy foods. And these tribes were unable to be dominated by the Inca, who were a colonialist culture, and they were not able to be assimilated. But now the coasts are full of sickly, like their teeth are all rotting out, their guts are destroyed, the obesity rates are gnarly there, and they're eating much more plant foods. They still eat some fish and stuff, but the pesticide use and the destruction of their land from this vegan agriculture is one of the most criminal things you will ever see in Latin America. So these vegans try to claim that animal agriculture is bad when the cattle that we eat, they're just roaming around eating grass. These bananas are destroying the freaking planet. So thank you for your taking those banana bullets for the animals. But you owe me the coast of Ecuador though for that. No, I'm kidding. I blame you.
I'm eating South African bananas, so
okay,
not
okay.
as bad. I hope so. Anyway.
Okay, you get a pass, but freely you suck. All right, continue.
Yeah. So I had to mute because my roots is here, so maybe it's a bit better.
It's actually way better.
Then, sorry.
It's way better actually.
Okay, cool. So then, then that didn't really work out well for me. It was terrible. So I went onto the raw diet. And the raw diet was really hard for me because I prefer vegetables to fruits. So I wasn't eating the fruits so much. And then, so it was like super low calorie. And I was feeling so weak, so sick. And then, so I cheated with cooked food.
Oh, you're so weak. You were almost enlightened. You almost reached Ubermensch level of enlightenment, and you ate cooked foods. How did you feel like psychologically when you ate the cooked foods?
Well, I went to a vegan restaurant and it was super salty because I think you're not used to so much salt anymore because they tell you to dehydrate celery and use that as salt. It was too salty. So my first meal wasn't really that great. But now I like salt more, so. And then I'm just trying to remember. And then then I put on some more weight. Then I went back on the raw vegan diet. Back and forth. And I've been back and forth for a while now. But the last 2 years I've had really, really bad years personally. And so I started like having some emotional eating problems again. I started like binging a lot. And then I started binging on actual dairy chocolate.
Oh, wow. So dairy. So did you tell your friends? Did you tell your friends? I put my video back on so you don't feel so alone. I think I got enough bandwidth and you got enough bandwidth now.
Yeah, that's a bit better.
All right.
So I wish my husband was here. He's still at work, but he might pop in.
That's cool. You guys come on again, and we could even do a two-parter if you want, because I'm sure he's got some interesting perspective too. And it's really great to see like a couple that stayed together. You didn't blame your nutritional deficiencies on each other and start lashing out and destroy each other's lives. You see a lot of these vegans, they end up breaking up or getting into polyamorous. Yeah. They get into polyamorous relationships because that's enlightened in the vegan fruitarian movement, right? You start passing each other around, getting in big piles of humping flesh is really enlightening in the vegan Oshoites. So yeah, okay. So you had cooked food, super salty, felt a little bit unenlightened, maybe felt guilty. Then you had milk. What's your problem? How did you do that?
I had a lot of dairy milk chocolate, so I went like crazy, and this has been going on and off for the last 2 years or so, maybe a bit longer, but like I'd be strictly vegan for most of the year, but sometimes I get these like binges where I'll go for the whole weekend. I'll eat so much chocolate. You don't understand. I wish my husband was here to explain it.
Your body wanted fats. I totally understand. No, chocolate's amazing. I eat mostly animal foods, but this has been yelling at me. This is just 100% cacao. Oh, plug it from our website. We got it on our website. No, we do. This is Ecuadorian cacao, super quality stuff, and chocolate's amazing. It's saturated fat. Your body wants cholesterol. It wants saturated fat because that's what you use to protect yourself from all the toxins that these vegans are obsessed with. They think they're detoxing, but they're dying. Right? Your body wants fat. Your body wants animal fats and saturated fats.
My husband was saying that maybe it's a good thing I was cheating so much.
It probably saved your life.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, so like it's been just a struggle, and I've been going back on the whole foods diet, but my stomach cannot take any of the food I used to eat. Brown rice, I lived on brown rice for so many years, I cannot stomach it anymore. I cannot stomach lentils, chickpeas, tahini, corn. What else is there? There's a few that I cannot stomach.
The abrasive fibrous foods.
And I just said to him about 2 months ago, I don't know what to do anymore. There's nothing I can eat, because I didn't think it an option to actually eat meat or eggs or anything like that. I did have a few slip-ups with eggs, but I just thought, you know, the vegan diet's the only way for me to not die. So I didn't even think about it, and then I landed on the keto diet by some weird little trips down YouTube and stuff that I wasn't even looking for, but so it's helped me a lot. But
so this was just recently. This was like within the last 2 years. You were still doing this craziness.
Yeah, I just stopped about a month and 3 weeks ago. So
wow.
It wasn't that long ago, and it was really hard for me. I mean, I haven't eaten meat for almost 18 years. And then I had to eat meat. My husband's been cooking it because I'm still a bit of a scaredy cat with it.
Well, you can program yourself to be so scared of the foods that you need, right? I mean, we can think it's gross. I mean, this is why I sent you a copy of the book, right?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. And I haven't made any of the organ stuff yet.
That's fine.
Really
just look at the pictures.
Look
at the pictures I put up on Instagram. Look at the videos. It's like, that's normal food. Those are real foods. Like this is how every single culture in the history of the world is eaten. Like these are, you know, I mean, this is not unclean. This is not murder. This is food. Like that's real food right there. You know, it's not, we don't need to be afraid of these things.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's the vegan diet or whatever, but it's made me like a total germphobe. Like, I don't know, my husband cooks the food and I can't be in the room with him because I go around using bleach everywhere, which is even more toxic than anything.
That's really bad, yeah.
But I can't switch it off. I'm trying to get better. But anyway, the first meat I had, I think, was ground beef, which I didn't enjoy. And then I had some chicken, which was my favorite for the first week or so. But now I like steak the most.
What kind of steak? What cuts of steak?
I don't know, 6 steaks, sirloin or something. So I've been eating those. And the other day, about a week ago, I discovered biltong, which I don't know if you know what biltong is.
I had friends bring me biltong from South Africa. It was the most amazing thing. It was so good. I love it. It was kudu biltong.
The gamey kind. Yeah. Well, I haven't eaten biltong since I was a kid, but I had some the other day and I was like, oh, it tastes just like my childhood.
That's good.
And it was like really good. I really enjoyed it, but it's really expensive here. But I'm going home in November, so I'll eat some while I'm there.
Yeah. I think that one of the most important things is, like, you mentioned the hypochondriac tendencies. That's really, really common among fruitarians and vegans. But it's like, I mean, when you think about it, a lot of us, when we got into veganism, we got into it because we wanted to feel like we wanted a connection to reality. We wanted to feel righteous, right? Like you wanted to save the animals. It became like the ethical veganism thing. And it's kind of like clean the inside of the cup, not the outside of it type of thing. It's like, it's not these are not unclean foods. It's like, it's the guilt, it's the shame that we inherently feel. And these people play on that. These people prey on it. These people prey on that natural tendency for human beings to feel ashamed and guilty. And then, like, why people naturally are easy to make feel shamed and guilty, that's like a whole other topic. But it's a natural human tendency when we stray away from the truth, we stray away from what we're capable of, to know it. Like, we know when we're screwing up. And it's like we project it on all kinds of nonsense, on our diet, on this and that. And it's like, I know so many people who are vegans who are just, they think that if you touch meat, that you're going to get a bacterial infection or something. But you are so much more likely to get a bacterial infection, to get E. coli from lettuce. Actually, the Oshoites, when Osho and his, speaking of Osho, people in the chat, we had some Oshoites. Pro-Oshoites will get banned because Osho is a degenerate. But Osho and his people, when they poisoned that population with E. coli, it was plant foods that they were spreading it with. So it's the plant foods that spread these bacterial infections and that spread this food poisoning stuff. We don't need to worry about bacteria and it being unclean. Handling meat is normal. So I think just, if you could start cooking the steaks and you start handling it raw and realize that is food, like put it in your hands and just sit there and look at it. It's like that's what's nourishing you. How did you feel when you started eating meat again, when you got off of these fruit cleanses and off the nonsense, sugar diet and grains? How did you feel?
Well, the first week I had a little bit of stomach upset, but I'm so used to that from my vegan diet, so it was just like another day. But afterwards, I started feeling much better. I have so much less pain in my stomach, and so I've obviously put on some weight, which I'm in the process of losing right now, but my stomach was always very distended and like hard if you push on it. Like it looks like a pregnant stomach, but it's like hard and swollen.
Yeah.
But now it's not like that at all. It's gone a lot flatter, and now it's just like squishy from the fat that I have to lose, but it's not like swollen. And another thing is that I was trying to get fit a few months ago, and I tried to do some push-ups, and I couldn't even make 3.
Yeah.
And
that's really good for a vegan. I mean, Dr. Greger did like 4, I think. I mean, but that's, go ahead.
I tried it again about a week after eating meat, and I could do 20.
What?
So...
Oh, but that's cheating. It's like, you're cheating. That's unspiritual. Those push-ups weren't spiritual.
So, yeah. And then, what else? My skin is getting way better. I've had really bad skin problems, and it's still a little bit touch and go. Like it breaks out if I have a protein bar or something. But other than that, it's really good. Yeah. And another thing that was surprising to me was whenever I ate dairy when I was younger, and also when I was cheating on my diet a little bit, I would get like terrible phlegm, mucus, blocked nose. I always had tissues around me. And now I've been having some dairy. I've been having some organic milk and cream and butter and cheese as well, a little bit. And I don't get it at all. So I don't know if it was like a food combining thing or what it was.
I mean, sometimes, look, it takes time. Think about how much abrasive fiber you're putting through there, the sugar, the mix of all this stuff, and the stress, right? Like stress is one of the number one causes of inflammation, of flare-ups of inflammatory bowel disease, poor sleep, stress. So just the stress of you having to leave the death cult, right? I mean, did you lose friends? Like what happened with the people that you used to hang out with?
I stopped talking to them because they kept on saying snide things like, they acted like I was a hypochondriac because I had these terrible stomach pains and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it was terrible. They kept on sharing things on Facebook and stuff about how gluten intolerance is a thing in your mind and everything. And I thought that was a bit snarky towards me. I was like, why didn't you just come out and tell me that? Like, I don't know why they were doing that. So I don't talk to them anymore. But I have done a little bit of Facebook stalking, and I see one of them is talking about chronic pain and all these kind of things. So I wonder if it's the diet. But yeah. Oh, and I wanted to talk a little bit about how I actually discovered the keto diet as well.
Mm-hmm. So after how many years of veganism did you discover, or did you just start deciding maybe I'm going to get off of this?
Not really. I was saying to my husband, I don't know what I'm going to eat. I have no idea what to eat anymore. And I was researching diets and stuff. And then I was getting a gall pain, like a gall bladder pain, gallstone pain. I kept on getting this. It was so painful. And my husband had it as well at the same time as me. So I was just like, what is this? So I went on YouTube and I found a Dr. Berg video or something. And he showed how to help it and stuff.
Nice.
So I was like, oh, that really helped me. And then obviously I get all the suggestions afterwards of his videos.
That's cool.
And then
It's funny. A lot of people hate on Dr. Berg and like some of the clickbait content out there, but you know what? It's like who cares who it is that's getting these people off of these degenerating diets and helping them to stop their chronic inflammation and the mental and physical issues that come with it. So, you know, it's like, man, a lot of people, I hear people bash Dr. Berg, but it's like, you know what? The guy's telling people to eat meat, and he's not telling them to eat meat and make families.
Yeah, he really helped me.
But yeah, so there you go. So it is what it is. It doesn't matter where the message comes from, but we do need animal foods, guys. Same team. Don't fight amongst ourselves. Let the vegans fight amongst themselves.
So after that, I get a suggestion from his channel again, which said something about the vegetarian diet or problems of the vegetarian diet, something like that. So I was like, okay, maybe this is a sign from God because I'm feeling so terrible today. So I click on the video, and then he starts talking about all the problems, blah, blah. And then he says, and a lot of vegans, when they hit like the age of 40 or so, they lose their teeth. And I was like, what? Because I'm really worried about losing my teeth. And my teeth had been loose, like
yeah, sensitive. You had sensitivities and stuff too?
Yeah.
So
common.
I
was like, okay, hell no, I do not want to lose my teeth. So I was like, okay, I don't know. I'm going to have to try some other diet. What am I going to do? I'll just eat eggs or something. And then I discovered Strait or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
His epitome of vegan.
Epitome of malnourishment. Those are some of the best vegan compilation videos out there. That's what like really. Yeah. I had seen a couple videos from Strait, and I didn't really know what he was all about. I saw a lot of his titles, and I was like, oh, okay, you know, he's into some wild stuff. And then I saw the epitome of malnourishment videos, and it was like, you know what, this guy sees it. He sees what I see. He's been there. Because I've been there. I'd been totally emaciated, almost dead from a vegan diet. I'll show you guys pictures one day.
And how many of those people had missing teeth? So it freaked me out so much.
Yeah.
And just that day, I'd started following some girl on Instagram, and she had lost a whole bunch of weight because obviously I'm always trying to lose weight. And then she was talking about this keto diet, but I didn't pay much attention to it. And then I heard about the keto diet from Strait and Dr. Berg, and I was like, this keto diet's everywhere. So I researched a bit, and then I said to my husband, oh, maybe I should try it, but I'm really scared. And then he was like, no, let's just try it. And he was so happy because he had been eating meat after his vegan stint, but I was cooking all the food at home. So he was eating mostly a plant-based diet. And just eating meat like at Burger King or at his mom's house when we were in South Africa. And he was so excited because like fatty, meaty stuff is his favorite thing ever. And so that's how it started. And yeah, it's going quite well so far, so I hope it stays that way.
Nice. Well, you know what? Look, regardless of what you do, regardless of what path you find yourself on, you've realized the necessity of certain foods. And you know, I mean, if you watch the first part of the stream today, we were talking about, you know, we only talked about one culture today, actually. We talked about the Torres Strait Islanders. But we've talked about the Native Americans of North America, the North American Indian tribes who are living almost exclusively off caribou, moose. You would see their settlements, and you wouldn't find the whole bones of their kills. You would only find shattered bones because they're sucking out all the marrow. So all these tribes, they're using foods like bone marrow. They're going for fatty cuts of meat, animal fats. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's as long as you understand the principles of animals are food. This is sustenance, and we need these foods to live. And you can program yourself in whatever religious text you want, context you want, and allow yourself to be gaslit into feeling guilty and shamed about this, which a lot of us did, right? A lot of us let that the vegan hacktivists tell us that it's, you know, it's bad to eat meat, it's unhealthy, it's unsustainable, and all this. Whereas this is a social engineering tool. We need animal fats. As soon as you pull animal fats from the diet, all these people get crowded teeth, their teeth rot out, their health goes away, and they degenerate. So we require animal-based foods. We need these foods for our health. You know, eat the fats, get the fatty cuts of meat. Once you can start can mentally handle eating organs again. I know you just, how many months ago did you start eating meat?
About a month and a half, maybe a month and 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. And so you went from 4 push-ups to 20 push-ups after a week of eating meat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's going really well. I have a lot more energy, and also I noticed looking at old vegan pictures, like my eyes were drooping so much, all the collagen was out of my face.
Yeah.
I have such dark rings under my eyes, which I still have, but it's getting better. And I don't know, it just looks like I'm dying in those pictures. It's crazy. And I see all the vegans, they've got the same problems. So, well, a lot of them. So it just can't be good.
Yeah. No, you can see, I mean, you could see it. Like, you want to stay on and watch a couple of vegan videos? Are you on, can you pull up the stream at the same time? Because I won't be able to screen share with you. You might be a few seconds behind. You know, I mean, we've got we've got a lot of.
Okay, there you go. Let me pause it.
Check this guy out, or maybe if you mute,
Yeah.
well, that's gonna be weird because you have to mute me and then have the. Oh, you've got the headphones though.
Yeah, I've got headphones. So
okay.
Fine.
All right, so let's pull up. Let's watch some of this. Some of the fruit bats. Actually, all right. So I accidentally pulled up this guy, this is only like one of the few some people have said, "Oh, you're just cherry picking the vegan crazies." There are a few people. There's one vegan in particular that I found that has a decent perspective on the whole thing. He's still very limited in his scope of understanding, and he's a moral relatives nihilist, but then says that veganism is morally superior to everything else. But this guy, Abalesiel, actually critiques these vegan activists very well, and he's very honest about the lies that they tell. One of the few people who comes from kind of an academic background and is not so degenerated in his mind. And he's, the guy's got good skin tone and he's not emaciated. So, I mean, there are a few vegans out there who seem to be able to survive on it and have a decent mind. So maybe we'll look at some of that guy's videos in a bit. But what I was looking for was, here we go. Let's listen to this guy talk about fasting.
Saturday, I broke my fast 2 Tuesdays ago, so that's about 11, 12 days, 35 days of water only fasting. They said the refeed on that is about half to 2/3, and it's been a few days since I got on the camera, so I wanted to just let you know how I'm doing, what I've been up to, how I've been my refeeds going. My face is filling out a bit, you might notice. My face is filling out. My weight's the same. I'm about 133 pounds. Yesterday I ate quite a lot. I had a pineapple, a piel de sapo, which wasn't ripe. I had a lot of plums. I had some cherries. And I had like 2 big salads. And actually, I didn't feel that good at the end of the day. I think I had food combined. I ate unripe fruits.
It's always some excuse, right? Oh, I didn't do it right, maybe.
I just ate, and I ate late as well. And I woke up feeling a bit cloudy today, so I decided to fast. I was like, Tim, like, part of the point of the fast was that you had your sort of food under control, and now that I'm refeeding and, you're riding on a high, emotionally, you're just like, yeah, more fruit, yeah, I want to eat this fruit, I want to eat that fruit, and it's like, slow down, it's still within a window of refeeding, but I think I'm fine now. Like, I think I'm past that window. I think that's settled for the most part. But it's just, I wanted to keep my food in control, and it's like, don't get carried away. And I'm still in the process of
detoxing.
My
detoxing.
What I'm doing at the moment, day to day, is really the body work, using my gua sha tool. Down there.
So the guy's in so much pain. This is what happened to me when I was doing vegan too. Like, so much pain in my body all the time, aches and stuff. And I was trying to heal from like this hip injury, and I was just thinking, well, I'm not eating toxic foods. I'm not eating, I'm not getting the hormones from the animals, so it's good. I was never an ethical vegan. I always thought that was really dumb. Because it never made sense to me, because I knew what wheat, corn, and soy did to the environment. Like, I knew that Monsanto would love. So I never bought into that ethical side of it. But I thought that health, that I was really, like, going mostly raw. And even, doing raw with, like, some cooked quinoa and stuff, and then lentils. I started doing a cooked vegan diet when the raw didn't work. Just insane. And I had so much pain, and I would get these knots in my back. This guy's having to do constant body work because he's detoxing. It's really crazy. You know, I mean, how blessed you are. Like, you're worried about having some fat on your body. But you know what? Fat is very protective, and we have that fat for a reason. If this guy got a bacterial infection, he would be almost dead, or possibly, you know, these people are risking death. If they can't eat for 5 days, what's going to happen? You know, I mean, it's not healthy.
And what I wanted to say as well is I had really bad pain in all my bones. I was getting really worried I was having arthritis or autoimmune disease or something. So that was also what pushed me off this diet. And another thing is just before we moved to Dublin a year ago, I got a really bad infection. I had to go to hospital. I got bitten by a violin spider. I think you call them a brown recluse in America. But I got a bad skin infection from it called cellulitis. And my whole leg went double the size. When my husband came home, he was like shocked. He rushed me to the hospital. And I was so sick. I've never been so ill before. And I struggled so much to heal. I had to fly to Dublin with this leg problem. And we had to find a place and everything to stay here while I was so ill. And I don't know how I survived it. I really thought I was going to die. It was so bad. But when I was so sick, the only thing I could stomach was scrambled eggs.
Ooh.
I don't know where I got the craving from because I hadn't eaten it for a long time. But I was just like, scrambled eggs. I need to eat scrambled eggs.
Your body knew. It wanted the choline. It wanted the vitamins. It wanted the vitamin D.
Yeah.
It needed that. It's insane.
Yeah, so that was another little cheat on my vegan diet for a little while, but not for long.
Someone just made a comment and said he did a vlog recently. I guess he's talking about the guy that we're watching. I just found, this was a suggested video. YouTube probably thinks I'm just like some crazy vegan fruitarian, like vegan activist, because all my suggested videos on this thing are crazy vegans. And then GSP talking about intermittent fasting. He said that this guy was on a walk in one of his vlogs and had to stop and sleep. He had to stop and take a nap on his walk.
I do understand that.
Yeah?
I do get that. The last 2 months or so of veganism, I had to sleep during the day for hours because I was just so tired. And I've never been a person who enjoyed sleeping in the daytime. But I had to. I had no energy whatsoever.
Yeah, you should
horrible.
Wake up.
It feels like you've got a disease or something.
Right. We should wake up and be able to move. We shouldn't be sore. We shouldn't have to, stretch our back out or like wake up in the middle of the night and foam roll because we're so sore. That is a sign of nutrient deficiencies. Vitamin A, vitamin K2, vitamin D, these are really important nutrients that we require for health. We need these foods. It's just insane. I got another video here. Let's check out this one.
What's the point, man? You're not even living. It's not life for me. I want to live now. Hello, what's up, people? Back again. Just want to have a little chat, basically. Just tell you how things are going. Might be able to hear in my voice. I'm going through a little bit of detox symptoms right now.
Oh, God.
Which is good. You feel weak, you feel tired, you feel like giving up, you feel like not doing anything, your body's aching.
It's good.
Sickness, basically, the telltale signs of a sickness. It's just the way that I look at it now is a little bit differently from before. The way I see sickness now is the way it actually is. The way the body is actually processing junk to eliminate through the channels that are available. Whereas before, I'd think something from outside has come into me and made me feel like this. Always passing on the responsibility to something else, to some other creature or creation, causing the damage and giving away that responsibility. that it was me who caused it, you know, and it's my body that's dealing with it now.
All right. So, I mean, just the same thing, right? It's like same excuses.
Isn't this the guy who was washing his eyes out with pee?
Yeah, he was. I think that he was the guy who was like, "There's just mucus coming out of my eyes for the last month. I'm detoxing. I'm getting rid of all the animal products I ate when I was a little boy." It's so sad, man. And he's got his super spiritual Osho beads on though, guys. It's all right. He's got his Hindu beads. He was counting the beads and doing his meditation, and you know, he's asexual, I'm sure now, because no libido, no sex drive. You know, he's about to. I mean, he's probably going to ascend soon into, you know, he's going to be an ascended master really, really soon.
Oh, my husband just sent a message saying, tell them how lazy I was. So yeah, he was very lethargic and lazy all the time.
I want him to come on next time. Let's do this again. We'll do a part 2 sometime, because, you know, I've kept you for at least an hour now. I really appreciate you coming on. You're only, 2 months now, right? Out of the vegan cult.
I'm just under 2 months, so yeah. And I was just trying to remember, there was something else I wanted to tell you, but I can't. There's so many things, so many health problems I had.
And how many of these health problems do you still have after the 2 months of, you know, eating animal foods again to at least a limited extent?
Okay, so I used to get rashes all over my body, all over my legs, on my back, and on my neck. And let me just pause this because it's got a delay and it's distracting me. Okay, there we go. And then I have like some patches of like eczema. That's getting way better. I'm not getting the rashes at all anymore unless I have like a protein bar. So I've stopped having those. So
processed junk foods will give you the rashes still.
Yeah, and my ears were infected all the time, and that's cleared up. You know, the stomach problems are so much better. That was the main issue. And also my sleeping, I woke up the whole night. It was like I was really sensitive to noises because we live next to a loud street, and I'd wake up constantly, but now I sleep the whole night through. Trying to think a lot. My skin's getting a lot better.
Nice.
And my husband says that he thinks that I'm losing weight, but he thinks that my face is filling out more, like it's less wrinkly and sunken in a way. That's what he says. I don't know if he's lying or what. Maybe trying to make me feel better, but he's saying like it's looking a bit younger. Yeah. And my teeth are not loose anymore.
Wow. Wow, and that's huge.
Low.
That's huge. But you lost all you're not spiritual anymore, so.
No, I was never really a spiritual vegan. My husband's like, because now we've been watching loads of vegan videos, ones that I'd never watched before, because it actually helps me with my healing from veganism, because now it's like they seem extra crazy now that I've stopped the diet. And he's like, they're so esoteric. They're crazy. So sorry, he just sent a message. He's probably telling me to tell more things.
He's like, tell him this, tell him that. That's funny.
Where is it? Hold on, let me just quickly come back to you. Yeah, so I am feeling a lot better. The stomach pains were the main issue. That's a lot better, and overall everything's getting better. And I've lost quite a bit of weight so far. I think I've lost almost 2 sizes in that short amount of time, and I'm eating enough food. So it's not like before when I used to starve and then binge and all that. Oh, and the main thing is, which my husband is reminding me of, is it's completely cured my like binge eating disorder, which was really bad. Wow. So
yeah. Then the binge eating. What kind of foods did you find yourself going for on the binge eating again? And you mentioned chocolate with like milk chocolate, so saturated fat plus at least some
mostly
sort of
that.
Yeah.
Mostly milk chocolate and chocolate soy milk. I never touched soy really when I was being healthy, but like I always drank chocolate soy milk when I was cheating on my diet. But then I'd have dairy milk chocolate. I don't know, it makes no sense. And then yeah, it was mostly that. And then when I was eating healthy, I was also binge eating on healthy food. So I'd have huge portions and I'd go back for more and more all the time. I was just like hungry all the time, but now I'm not. I'm like full all the time. So that's great as well.
I'm so happy for you. It's really sad how many people have been in the same exact situation that you're in. How many people have totally destroyed their health. I mean, what about your mental state? You mentioned hypochondriac type symptoms. Was there other, like, I mean, a lot of people, paranoia. You could see in some of these vegans' eyes, like they're like looking around. Like this guy was here. You saw this one, he heard a bird and he was like he wants to literally like go and eat the bird.
Well, I've had a lot of, I guess you could say, mental issues, especially the last few years, especially from veganism. A little bit less from vegetarianism. I still had like the eating problems and stuff, but I've been suffering a lot with kind of social anxiety. Not going, like, I go outside and I think everybody is staring at me and laughing at me and like thinking I'm so fat. I was thinking like I was an obese woman.
But also the social circles you were in, weren't they full of people that were constantly berating you and like demeaning you? These vegans, you said they were really mean to you.
Yeah, they were really mean, but I stopped being friends with them quite a few years ago. But they actually put me off having friends, so I've kept people at a distance from me. I've been basically a recluse, especially since we moved here, and that's getting a little bit better now. But it's still there a little bit, but I'm working on it now. I've been basically a recluse, only going to the shops when I need to, and I like to go when it's quieter, when like in the weekday when no one's there. And also I go to church, but like people were starting to know me there, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to go. But my husband forces me to go do some things, and that is getting a bit better. But yeah, it's been rough. So paranoid. People are like looking at me, staring at me. I get paranoid. I don't know if this is normal, but I get super paranoid about switching plugs and stuff off in my house, but like obsessive.
Yeah.
I go up about two times every hour and check things, like if plugs are off and stuff that I'm not using. I'm always scared there's going to be like a fire or something. That is getting a little bit better, but still not 100%. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other...
How, and again, just to reiterate for the audience, for people who just jumped in, how long were you vegetarian and vegan for?
So I was, altogether, I haven't eaten meat since, for about almost 18 years.
Yeah, and 2 months eating meat, and what percentage of the symptoms that you were experiencing that you didn't enjoy have improved since you started including animal fats again?
Most of the stuff has improved. Everything has improved.
Wow. And
everything is getting better.
Wow.
But some things are still getting there. But
18 years. Like, I mean, I grew up with asthma and allergies, right? So, I mean, I tried a million different things, including a vegan diet, and then going into a more restrictive vegan diet, right? It's like, okay, well, I've got to eat more raw. I've got to eat less of these foods, less of those foods. You know, I can't be eating... You know, I restricted myself in so many different ways, trying to figure out what foods I could handle in my whole foods-based, organic, vegan, enlightened diet. And my asthma and I was constantly hawking up loogies everywhere. It was disgusting. Just my nose was always running. I can finally breathe.
Yeah, that's what I had.
I could finally breathe through my nose, which I can feel. You know, it feels amazing. I'm not even used to being able to breathe through my nose. So, you know, I mean, it takes time. It takes patience, and it's not all just diet. A lot of stuff is stress related, where we're constantly freaking ourselves out with stress as well. You know, it's like, so I think just learning to focus on the right things.
So much better.
Yeah.
And I just have so much hope now for the first time in like so long, because I've just been struggling. It's been such a struggle. I can't believe I struggled for so long on the stupid diet. But I honestly just didn't think about trying something else. I kept on going back to like the first little while when I was vegan, and my hay fever went away, and you know, I felt good, but I never got back there, no matter what I did. So I wanted to say the other diets that I've tried as well, because I tried everything like Vegetable Police. I tried the macrobiotic diet, I tried the Banana Island, the raw diet, the whole foods diet. So many, I can't even think of them all, and nothing really helped. So
yeah. So all right, well, I think it takes time. I think the mind is one of the most powerful. I mean, it's one of the most powerful things that you could ever imagine the human mind, human consciousness. You know, it's indefinable. It's incredible the things that we can trick ourselves into fearing. It could trick ourselves into desiring, and it's really, really sometimes super important to heal from the programming that we've gone through and the guilt and the shame that you've been made to feel about handling or eating foods. So
and what I'm happy about is I've actually done this now. I was really, really scared, and I've done it. I wouldn't have done it like a month ago, so that's good.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. I want to have you on again when your husband's around, because I want to hear his perspective too. And so yeah, I mean, he'll probably walk in right when we hang up. But thanks for coming on.
I'll try. Yeah, I'll convince him to come on. I don't know. Maybe he's shy as well. And maybe that's why he's busy at work. I don't know.
It takes time to heal, though. You know, it's like a lot of cultures, they give women several months of special foods, all of them based on animal fats. Fish eggs was a big one in the Andes. You know, liver, marrow in some cultures, but they give women before they conceive special foods to make sure that they're fertile and to make sure that their body is strong enough to handle the pregnancy and the birth. So, you know, give yourself time to heal. I'm not saying that you're like trying to have a baby or whatever, but it's just like it's an example of it's important to give yourself time and give your body time to regenerate. And you know, your mental state, your focus, your mind is going to come back, and you'll figure out what works for you. It's like what works for me isn't what you need to do. But you know, I hope, you know, anything I can do to help, let me know. Shoot me an email. You guys stay in touch, and I want to have your husband on and hear his perspective sometime too in the future. But yeah, if you got a blog or anything?
No, I've just got an Instagram, but I don't know if anyone will be interested in following me.
You're a photographer, right? You're a photographer?
Yeah, a child photographer. It's Claudine Cook 86. And one last thing before you go. Okay, this might be, I don't like talking about this in front of men because men cringe at this kind of thing, but my female cycle, it came back after I've been on the keto diet for about 2 weeks.
Oh, so you lost fertility. So there you go, the vegan anti-fertility cult. But it was a sign that you detoxed when you didn't get your period, that Freely would say that's just detox when your period comes, and it's bad to have a period.
Or John Rose. But I had mostly, I think I only got my cycle maybe 20% of all the times that I was off meat. So
wow.
If you know, it's 20% of the time. Like only after I was binging and stuff I would get it. So
it's a huge sign right there. It's a huge sign that what you're doing is working, right? You're getting your fertility back, like, you know, the natural processes in your body are working now. So congratulations. I'm really happy for you, and just keep going. Like you gotta slay those programs in the mind that are making you afraid to touch and handle meat. These are human foods, you know, like these are real foods that people eat, you know. So I hopefully you guys use the book I sent you, and that, you know, I wish.
Definitely are.
Awesome. Well, I wish you guys the best. Tell your husband I said hi. We'll have you guys on soon. Go eat meat and make families. But sometimes it's better to wait to make the babies until the body is ready.
What I said.
Yeah, wait till your body's ready.
My husband just keep on telling me, let's eat meat to make babies. And I'm like, give me some time so I can heal a bit. Thanks for that.
Read this book. Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. Specifically the section on application of primitive wisdom, where it talks about the common practices, pre-fertility foods for these women. The baby's going to take those minerals from your body whether you give it to it or not, and it's going to find those minerals that it needs. It's going to find those fat-soluble vitamins, and it will deplete you if you're not ready. So, you know, you get used to the foods and look at what all these cultures used as fertility foods, and there's a lot of wisdom in there, and that's why we have the section of organ meats in the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. So this is available on the website. We finally got it in print, guys. So, you know, for the audience member, a little shameless plug for my wife's book there. She worked her ass off on it. So eat meat and make families, but when your body's ready. Don't force it. And thank you so much for coming on, Claudine. Really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. And I look forward to seeing your guys' beautiful family one day. So stay in touch. And
yes, I will.
All right. Tell your husband I said hi. Thank you.
I will. Thank you. Bye.
What an awesome lady. What a nice lady, huh? All right, so let's look at the chat here. Buns are not good for you with most burgers. Oh, yeah. Buns are terrible for you. All right. What do you guys want to do? I could keep going for a little bit more, maybe another 20 minutes or so. Let's talk about one of the few intelligent vegan activists out there. A guy that I actually, have respect for his intellect to a certain extent. I think I have respect for everybody as a human being. I don't agree with everything that this guy believes. He says he's a nihilist, but then he says that veganism is ethically, objectively correct. So, Aval le ciel. Shout out to him. I'd love to. I get these vegan hacktivists who like challenge me to debates and shit. Just like, I'd rather have people who are healing from the degenerate practices that are being taught by some of the people you'll see over here, Flat Earth, the Rapture, and Prophecy. Look at my suggested videos from watching the vegan hacktivists. So I mean, I would way rather have people who healed from the Dr. Greger degeneracy, from the Mike the sterile, pale, pasty vegan, from their advice. But let's talk about one of the guys that I kind of respect in the vegan movement, because he actually admits the inanities of what a lot of these people believe, and this is going to be a little bit more intellectually stimulating than these other dummies that you might see, like this guy. Let's just watch one clip.
What's up, my friends?
Gotta watch one.
And welcome
one more.
back.
Mangotarian. He's the Mangotarian.
Shizzo. I want to document an observation for you guys, since that's what I like to do on these videos, is to document my experience so you guys could learn from it, so we could all learn from it. Right now I'm outside of the gym facility. There's really not a... Right as I make the video, we get the puttering sound. Yay! Transitioning and an intermittent dry fasting for probably almost 3 years. In 100 days, it'll be 2 years on a 90-95% fruit-based diet, 100% raw, with fasting and herbs and just the whole protocol, the Robert Morse protocol, the way that he teaches it. And I've had a lot of healing crisis. And right now, the healing crisis I'm dealing with, which I hope that's what it is, and I'm not weakening and wearing out my pancreas for whatever reason, is my pancreas. And my digestion has been terrible lately.
What a surprise. All right. So, I mean, we obviously this is what happens. This guy.
Nothing came from outside to cause this. It's all caused from within, through years and years and years of the wrong lifestyle choices, poor lifestyle choices, and genetics, obviously. So yeah.
All right, let's listen to an intelligent vegan though.
Of meat, and one of the first questions that. So we just got done watching Mike the Vegan's new video, The Real Cost of Meat, and one of the first questions that he asks in his video is, well, he says that everybody who is vegan has walked through the grocery store and looked at a package of meat and wondered, how can this be so cheap? And the rest of the video doesn't really answer this question, why is the price of meat so cheap? It goes on to talk about a lot of other issues that don't answer the question. So
it goes off topic quickly and becomes a parade of miscellaneous and spurious vegan complaints about American politics and life on Earth.
So for the vegans who are watching this, and for Mike the Vegan, those are more than 3 syllables, some of those words. You can Google translate those into fruitarianism language if you want. Basically saying you're a freaking idiot.
Yes.
So it never gets back to answering.
And I want to ask you more about some of the specific things that he talks about in this video. But I wanted to record a video with you about this because at the end of it, I was like, okay, so why is meat so cheap? Of course, I'd thought about it before. I remember having a conversation like this with my dad one time and saying that we need to have more subsidies for fruits and vegetables to even out the cost, so that
you have massive grain subsidies, massive corn, wheat, soy subsidies.
Rice is so cheap, and so is beans, but people still aren't buying it.
Right.
So I just wanted to make a video about this topic in particular. Why is meat so cheap? And kind of answer that question because Mike the Vegan's video didn't accomplish this.
Right. So aside from expressing my complete contempt for Mike the Vegan, I would answer this firstly by answering the question of why would I know? My university degree is political science, and I always had an interest in these issues. Like Melissa, I really started off being interested in ecology and then being interested in veganism for that reason. When I was living in Laos is a third world, post-war communist dictatorship in Southeast Asia, country very much recovering from being bombed and destroyed by the U.S. Army, the unique set of political and economic services. When I was in Laos, I really applied the knowledge I'd gained in university and asked anew all these questions, both in contrasting animal agriculture to vegetable and grain agriculture, and also in contrasting fruit agriculture.
All right, so this is, again, bear with me, and this is not your typical dumbass vegan. This guy will actually make some salient points here and honestly look at animal agriculture versus fruit agriculture, grain agriculture, and Dr. Greger, fart fuel agriculture.
To opium. That was the other big alternative. So that's why when Melissa asked me this just a couple minutes ago, off the top of my head, I listed up all of these factors for why farming something like apples or strawberries is actually more expensive, seemingly on a per unit basis for an outsider looking in, for the uninitiated. It just seems unjust that apples are so expensive or strawberries are so expensive while meat is so cheap. And then when you start to go through what the factors are, bit by bit, it starts to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Likewise, I just say, so like in Laos, I was dealing with a couple of different sources of mythology, sort of intentional disinformation about agriculture, and then dealing with a certain number of inconvenient truths that related both to meat. In Laos, it was mostly beef we were looking at. We weren't really looking at chicken or pork.
Mm-hmm.
People, so today we're going to be talking about vegetable
eradication policy, right? So people would often present. So sorry, just to pause on that for a second. You remember there was a hit movie called An Inconvenient Truth.
Yeah.
We as vegans have to deal with some inconvenient truths, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leather production is incredibly profitable. In many cases, in many countries, the profitability of leather supports the less profitable or sometimes loss-making beef and veal industry, right? You can also be in a country where it's dairy production, it's something like butter production is more profitable, and that's supporting the price of producing beef and veal or whatever. You have different stages of the process can be more profitable and supporting others.
But I just wanted to say, I think one time we watched a short documentary about how government buys, and this is mentioned in Mike Ryan's video, that the government will buy excess dairy products.
So this is called supporting the price.
It must be so cheap to produce milk. I mean, there's this oversupply.
Then when the price gets too low, the government will intervene to try to maintain the price at a certain level.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt, but so they were in Laos. They were trying to encourage meat, raising meat.
Well, let's just talk about who they is, right? This is why I was so animated about this in Laos, and this is a real inconvenient truth for me as a vegan, for me as someone who cares about ecology. There are inconvenient truths I have to face up to also. United Nations agencies and international charities were encouraging people in a third world country to stop farming rice, stop farming, nuts or beans or garlic. Garlic was another local crop. And to instead go into producing beef, right? Animal agriculture. So, of course, I'm horrified. And I want to believe this is an economic disaster. I want to believe it's not profitable.
Watch how honest this guy is. This is so rare in the vegan movement. He's basically admitting that economically, for nutrition, it's way more valuable to these third world countries to actually use animal agriculture than to grow lentils and shit. Most of these people are not dumb enough to live off of lentils like in the Western world. These, degenerated nihilist vegans who are all moral relativists, but then can easily get gaslit into being emotionally attached to the vegan religion, which I don't think he would admit veganism is a religion, even though he grew up, this guy Abalesiel, he grew up as a communist, apparently. One of his more interesting videos talked about how he grew up communist. He talked about communism was a religion, but he thinks that veganism is morally objectively right. But he's a nihilist and he doesn't believe that there's objective truth. So I don't really understand where he's coming from with why does he care, right? If you're a nihilist. But I'd be cool to have this guy on and have him maybe. I'd like to host like a debate between Abad Leciel and Jay Dyer on whether veganism is a religion or not. So yeah, that is Eisel. He's a really smart guy. So I'd like to see, maybe you guys could make it happen. I want to see Jay Dyer debate, is veganism a religion, with this guy. That would be fun. Way more interesting to me than these other proposals I get from some of these others, the emaciated Ichabod Crane carbon copies out there. I think that would be an interesting debate.
I believe it's bad for these people. And I'm meeting with and talking to face-to-face government officials. And in my last period there, it especially was government officials who were agricultural engineers and involved in agriculture for poverty alleviation. But are you going to lie to yourself? Are you going to lie to yourself? Are you going to lie to others?
Right.
Or are you going to deal with real facts? And the inconvenient truth was, I got access to, and I looked at the math, the same math the United Nations were looking at, the same math other charitable agencies like USAID, United States Aid Agency. No, it's just it's an international charity run by the U.S. government, USAID and other EU charities were looking at. And guess what? These government officials were not lying to me when they said that, raising cattle, raising beef was the #1 catalyst for farmers escaping poverty. That is a ladder out of, that they basically had rice farmers locked in poverty, and that when they were given assistance to get into beef agriculture, they would suddenly be able to afford things like motorcycles and what have you, and education for their children and healthcare and everything else.
Yeah.
The economic reality was, for me, an inconvenient truth.
Right. And I agree with that completely, and I feel like that was how Mike the Vegan was trying to convince people. Because I agree that, as a vegan, I want to believe that it is more expensive than
the price tag you see. Right.
Yeah, and
but he opens with a huge admission, right? He opens with the admission that if you do the math, in the United States of America, which is a little bit different. In the United States of America, the government subsidies various forms of state intervention maybe lower the price of meat products by 2% up to 5%, a range of 2% to 5%. That is a huge own goal. That's a huge concession. And he then spends the rest of the video kind of flip-flopping and trying.
So there you go. There's a really actually halfway intelligent vegan. Yeah, that's a pretty intelligent guy. I think he's got the blinders on majorly and has got a very self-refuting way of looking at this. But this is a vegan actually admitting that Mike the Vegan's a freaking idiot. So, I mean, you got these other... This guy's interesting. You guys ever seen this guy? This guy's this juiced up dude in Thailand says he's a raw foodist. Mushrooms saved my life.
My hands on. I was selling dick pills. I was selling ecstasy, speed, weed, what have you. All of that, thank God, is in the past now. So now it's...
No, I only sell steroids.
This is my past. And the reason
why... No, I don't know. I mean, maybe he doesn't use steroids. Maybe he's just so jacked. Maybe he's so jacked from this raw veganism.
I started tripping out. Because many people that I talk to nowadays think that I've always been spiritual or had a connection. But I was very, very materialistic. Back then, I was driving Mercedes. I was selling drugs, as I said. I would never go into nature. I was completely disconnected. Even back then, I wasn't into bodybuilding. I was always ripped in shape. I was eating chicken, rice. I was partying on the weekends. I was using drugs myself. And all that was financed by me selling. But I'm not here to say, oh my God, that was so bad and I regret it. Not at all. It was a period of my life. I learned valuable lessons out of it. It essentially made me who I am today. Anyways, so I'm 24 years old. I'm selling drugs. I'm partying my ass off on the weekends. During the week, I'm just eating chicken.
Okay, so I don't know. Then this guy got into veganism. Here's his talk about ayahuasca. Ayahuasca made this guy spiritual and totally sane guy.
Ayahuasca. My last meal was 2 mangoes and 3 little apples. Okay, that being said, we talked it through with the guys that I'm staying with. We talked it through with the owner of this medicinal garden here. And we decided to do the ayahuasca with no shaman. We had a long talk and Hank, the owner, said something that spiked my interest. You are the shaman. And this is what I would hear in my mushroom experience over and over.
Oh, this is Terrence McKenna. Terrence McKenna, if you eat the mushroom, 5 grams in silent darkness, It will show you how to live, how to smoke loads of weed, and tell everybody else to eat mushrooms, even though I stopped tripping in 1987 when I realized how fucked up I was in my head. But I still told everybody to trip out. Right? So Terence McKenna, transhumanist Terence McKenna. All right, it's funny because when you see there's this whole little swastika in the title. I don't get. He's like swastika. He's like, it's spiritual, swastika. It's an ancient Hindu symbol of the sun and of life and the cycle of regeneration. It's like whatever, dude. All right, he's probably super into Osho. And then you got Melanation. You guys know about? Oh, he changed it to Carbon Nation TV. It used to be Melanation, but now he's marketing to little white boys. It's like, yo, I'm Nature Boy. It's your boy, Nature Boy. Peace Reflections. Check out Nature Boy. So, again, what I'm demonstrating here is there's this huge, cult aspect to fruitarianism where a lot of these guys, they've realized that they can start little sex cults and stuff. You guys remember my veganism is veganism is the answer, or veganism is the final solution to the human question. We included Nature Boy in that one. I threw Nature Boy in there. He's a really interesting guy. He's the one who said, nipples are nipples. And it was talking about how it's super spiritual to be infertile. Because when you're a fruitarian, you get infertile because in order to get pregnant, you have to be acidic with all the acids of the animal products. And it's really, really bad to be, and it's unspiritual to get pregnant. So if you're a fruitarian, you won't get pregnant because the sperm count goes down because the spiritualness goes up because of the consciousness of the plants. So there's this whole like high off your ass vibe that a lot of these people get. It's so funny. Nature Boy has this whole cult of he had all these chicks that he had in the jungle that he was obviously, he was talking about group sex and how you swaps fluids for spirituality. And he started saying he's God and stuff. Really crazy. But a lot of this goes on. Then you see these people promoting polyamory and stuff like that. Which we'll look at some of these other vegan promoters in the fruitarian movement. But it's just, there's an entire underbelly of this where there's these predatory dudes who've realized that they can find malnourished women that they can bang and that they can take advantage of on many different levels. And it's this whole Osho spirituality thing where it's just I'm going to enlighten you. I'm going to open up your third eye with my 11th finger kind of thing. Melanation. Yerp.
Hey, yo. What's going on?
Yo, what's up? I'm on that SpongeBob. What's it? Not SpongeBob.
Put a list of people.
What's that Simpsons character? The guy that's always tried to kill Bart. Sideshow Bob. Yo, what's up? This Nature Boy. I'm on that Sideshow Bob vibe with my hair today. I'm gonna tell you why white people ain't spiritual, because you ain't got enough melanin. Yo, let's talk about it, yo. Open up your third eye between your legs, girl. Check it out.
It's very important that we understand this, and I want to say this clearly because I don't think people
pay attention, idiots.
Understand what's going on here, and that's okay because I'm here to teach you. And so I put this list of teachers out as proclaimers of the kingdom, and all of these teachers would play as in the Bible as John the Baptist leading you to me. I am the Most High. I want to let you know that right now. I don't know if anybody out there has that mixed up. I want you to know that I am the Most High. I am the most highest consciousness you can come to within this plane.
Pay attention,
to
idiots.
You, I am God. I am your Jesus. Period. There is no greater teacher than I. I just want to let you guys know that. I heard some people say Seven Boomar, or they were mad that he wasn't on my list. They were mad a couple people wasn't on my list. And there's a lot of great teachers, and they all prepare you, and they all give you certain laws, but what I have come to do is fulfill the laws. Now, I know at first appearance, you look at me as just some black dude. You probably look at my history. You probably look at things that I went through. That's because you don't know how to see.
Fucking idiots.
That's because you don't know how to hear.
You don't have enough melanin.
The truth about the matter
More
is
fruit.
the frequency that I'm on right now is the highest frequency of this realm, period. There is no higher frequency that I've tapped into. Now, you can look at me personally
Put some pants
and
on.
say this and that about this person.
Put some pants on.
But if you are a surface dweller and you just see the surface of things, you will not receive the kingdom anyway. You don't even know how to hear. Your third eye is closed. What they call your third eye, which is only your only eye, which is your heart.
It's the eye of Horus. Aleister Crowley said that the eye of Horus is the most spiritual hole in the body. All right, so I mean, you could watch this whole video. There's a lot to laugh at, but it's also really sad that people actually get into these cults. People actually fall prey to these predators. You know, people fall prey to these people. Yeah, and then let's see here.
Such a feeling. I never feel so stressed. I feel so high. I feel so high. Why do I feel so high? Probably because I dip my feet in the sea and then I make commitments to high energy, like swimming in this water. Swimming in this water makes me feel like order. Yes, no conceptual mind, living straight in the moment, feeling everything, toes as I'm going. I can feel my breath, I can feel what's next, I can feel the no, I can feel the yes.
Got them Joey Carbstrong eyes, huh? So dope.
I can feel it like I'm swimming in the ocean with the dolphins and whales. I will sail across the 7 seas and find my grail. Holy, I see. And I keep coming back to my vision, but really I breathe and let go of my sight and let go of my senses and just flow into the inner worlds. Man, my dimensions are spreading, opening up portals to another universe. Black holes slipping in, getting blessed by a god and goddess. Yet the chest beat from the Holy Mother.
Oh!
Yeah, I feel it.
We all love raw foods. We love learning about it and getting healthy. But this festival has turned more into a community building workshop and little utopia. The whole thing is how can you connect with people more deeply, see the friends you love, and meet new ones and inspire each other. So I mean,
someone said those arbs are carb heavy. Yeah, they got them Joey Carb strong eyes, huh? Look at that flow, yo. So I mean, yeah. So this is this guy's video. Ted Carr, Fruit Living. Wait, let's find Ted Carr from Fruit Living.
2, 1. What's up, Bo? Okay, uno, dos, go. Yo, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? We rock to the core tonight. Chris, what are we doing? Oh, we're vegan to my head to my today tomatoes. Oh, shit. And Ashley, what are we doing?
We are in Saskatoon.
Just got done at the Antifa protest.
Masterminding, making pizza, talking about the Canada Fruit Fest.
That's what's about. This is going to be dope. So, Ashley's going to be at the Canada Fruit Fest. Chris is going to be at the Canada Fruit Fest. We had about like 12 other amazing presenters and speakers there this summer. And it's going to be amazing. Why would someone want to come to the Canada Fruit Fest? Well, there's so many different reasons. We all have our own reasons. Personally, my favorite reason is to connect with like-minded people.
Like-minded ladies. So wait, let's find. All right, so this part's really sad. So this is the same guy, Ted Carr from Fruit Living, and just in case you guys should check out. If you guys really want to get healthy, he does retreats, food and sport retreats. You can break through the challenges blocking you from achieving your health and fitness. It goes from $1,000 to $3,500 for a private room with a bath. You share the bath with Mr. Carr, I'm sure. I'm sure Ted Carr will share that bath with you. So So this is their raw vegan diet that they feed their kid. This was really sad. This is his girlfriend's kid. Like they're in a polyamorous relationship.
This is really good. I love this sauce.
It's pretty good. Add some avocado and you're set.
Now I'm gonna add avocado.
Fruitarianism, helping incels get orgies since 2015, since YouTube started, right? Helping incels get orgies. So sad, like putting this little girl. This is not even his kid, too. Like, making a smoothie. Forcing this girl to make these videos.
Okay. Ow.
It's really sad.
Good job, Eva.
Raw vegan kid. It's really sad.
Good part.
Wow, it's really good. Thank you, Eva.
Bye-bye.
I say, thanks so much for watching, and you say, be sure to comment and subscribe.
Not creepy at all, right?
Thanks so much for watching.
Be sure to comment and subscribe.
Be sure to comment and subscribe. Say it, be sure.
Be sure to comment and subscribe.
Perfect, okay. Alright, so we were really inspired by...
I don't know, man. I don't know about this guy. So yeah, this is, I mean, this is, you know, I mean, let's see. Polyamory.
Natural. I did it in the past without knowing that it was a thing.
So, you know, you got your kid on a raw food diet, mom's in a polyamorous relationship, so who knows what kind of stuff these poor kids are exposed to. It's just so sad, man.
Was a thing.
Maybe.
Don't watch, Ryder. Those are called degenerates.
Looking online and watching people talking about it. And I was like,
Someone said creepy vibes from that guy. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I resonate with that.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things that we do in life naturally, intuitively. We don't know it's like a thing until we hear about it.
Yeah.
Because all those people who are eating just fruit and vegetables, and then they find out about something called raw veganism. I'm like, oh my god, it's a thing? I'm gonna do that like 100% now.
Yeah.
Like, they like join the community, they join the raw vegan community, or in this case the poly community. So that's cool. Who or which video did you watch that introduced you to poly? Do you remember?
I think Connor and Brittany were.
Yeah, of course.
I guess because
I mean,
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Ted Carr here, and I just got done watching a beautiful video, probably one of the best videos I've ever seen on YouTube, done by my friend Tim Sheaf. If you don't know who Tim is already, he is a ninja warrior champion. He is just a beautiful human being. He's
I think less in this physical and not in a airy fairy way, but I just feel more connected to something that.
All right, so I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much more I can handle of this stuff, but you know, the fruitarian thing is it amazes me how people are still using this, how people are still into this fruitarian stuff. We got all kinds of languages that I don't even understand in there, but you know, I mean, exposing kids to who knows what, talking about polyamory and tying this into the raw vegan thing. It's like you see a lot of these cult leaders, a lot of these really creepy, predatory dudes like Nature Boy, like Durian Rider, and this guy who's got, you know, his girlfriend with a little daughter on the the way he looked at her when he told her to say like and subscribe was just really odd, really odd. So anyways, yeah, this has been another Eat Meat and Make Family stream, guys. We've talked about a lot. We got into some of the nutritional principles used by the Torres Strait Island tribes, using a lot of shellfish, using a lot of fish and seafood, combined with the local seasonal plants the local seasonal fruits and vegetables and some tubers to maintain fertility, to maintain their cultures, and to maintain their health and their vitality. So, as you can hear, we're eating meat and making families in this home. We had a really awesome breakfast this morning. We find that with Ariana, in the past, it's been kind of hard sometimes. There's been some battles over, like, what to eat for breakfast. You know, we try to get her to eat some, you know, healthy foods, and everything she eats is healthy. She loves, you know, full-fat raw yogurt. She loves full-fat raw milk. She likes cream and honey. You want to come say what's up? You act like you want attention. You come running up here yelling. Hey, hey, hey. All right, we'll keep it down while I finish here. What did you eat for breakfast this morning, you guys? Steak. So we had steak this morning. We've actually been eating steak for the last week, which has been really cool. For some reason, she never complains when we have steak. There's certain foods that we'll make that she's like, yeah, maybe I'll eat that. Jessica will try all these fancy recipes. You know, she'll do this or that with, like, yeah, she'll be using starches, and she'll do this or that with yuca or potatoes. And Ariana will eat, she likes, like, potatoes and cheese. She does eat carbohydrates. We don't put our kids on a ketogenic diet or, like, a carnivorous style diet. Just because we eat a certain way doesn't mean everybody needs to. Every single culture has used seasonal carbohydrates. Our kids love fruit, but we're never going to put our kids on a fruitarian, brainwashed cult diet like you see some of these people. But when we make them steak, both of them fight over the fatty pieces. Keep it down. Come on. Let me finish this up. Almost done. Then you can go wild. Look, Jessica's coming over here to save us. Where are you?
Right here. I'm going to try this new recipe for a low-carb clam chowder, but I'm actually going to put some potatoes in there for the kids.
You gotta speak up near there. And I don't. We gotta end the stream. I think we got Crazy Rider, just wildling rider. Hey, stop! Come on, chill out. Go that way. No. Go that way. No. Yes. All right. Just let me finish. So steak is always something that the kids will never give us a hard time about. We make a bunch of steak, a bunch of top sirloin steak, get a bowl of butter and a bowl of salt, and those kids will never complain about it. You know, you can make them the most fancy meal, a 3-course meal with starches and, you know, sauces and this and that. But if you just bring them steak, they will freaking love it no matter what. So, it's been a wild stream, guys. It's been fun. I want to thank Claudine for coming on and telling her story. I want to thank everybody out there who's eating meat and making families, eating meat and regenerating their cultures, eating meat and regenerating their cultural heritage. Because as you see, every single culture in the world, doesn't matter if you're white, Polynesian, African, Maori, you're under direct threat by the degenerative diseases that are caused from the consumption of these processed, refined McDiets that people are given. And unfortunately, we're also given a processed and refined McCulture. This global McCulture is not doing us any good on any level, physically, spiritually, mentally, psychologically, whatever level you want to look at it on. Crime rates are increasing. Low cholesterol is associated with increased criminality and risky behavior. Apparently, fruitarianism is highly associated with weird-ass cults and creepy, predatory polyamory promoters. And somebody says veganism is basically racist, which is absolutely true. These people are out there pretending to be social justice warriors. We got fight with James Aspie. It's like, James Aspie, he did bong rips for a whole year and didn't even talk. It took a 1-year vow of silence for the animals. James Aspie just got ripped off his ass, like just smoking bong loads of totally veganically grown herb. And he took a year of silence for the animals, but has no respect for any other culture. Oh, you gotta get rid of those Maori, those people. All these people in the Polynesian islands who live off of fish and seafood, they're disgusting little idiots who don't know how to be enlightened. They're just so mean to the animals, dude. Like James Aspie. You got crazy-eyed Joey Carbstrong. All these people marching in the streets to take away the rights of these noble, beautiful cultures to survive and live. So one of the first episodes we talked about the beautiful Gaelic cultures living off of almost no plant foods at all. The only way that they could grow oats was by using their thatched roofs, which were made with the moss, the peat moss growing on the ground. And they used that. We need the Lord Birkenhead accent. Lord Birkenhead can come back next week. I don't have the article, so there's no context. But they were growing their only plant-based foods, which were oats, and they'd make oat cakes with. They made cod livers stuffed with oats or cod heads stuffed with oats and cod livers. They were hardy people, battling the elements, loving their lives, and having so much meaning, right? They would get together, their entire communities would get together and pray together regularly. So they had spiritual unity. They had real families. But the British aristocrats came into their areas and told these Gaelic peoples that you idiots are going to get tuberculosis by burning the peat moss in your homes and using that to fertilize your oat cakes. And you've got to buy the foods from our trade stores. You've got to buy our marmalades, our imported sugar, and our wheat and our processed white flour. And then you'll become an enlightened vegan ideologue in 100 years, right? Out there promoting the death of other cultures because you've been duped by television, by celebrities, by PETA, by the millions of dollars getting pumped out there by Saudi princes, by Bill Gates, by big money veganism with a line down the S. You got Prince Khalid here, the Saudi royal family whose father is often talked about in the context of chucking midgets. The dwarf-throwing billionaire buying up America. Guy owns 3% of Twitter, funding the vegan agenda. This is who's behind this, guys. This is big money. This is big money agendas degenerating every single culture in the world and telling you it's going to make you enlightened. Don't worry, you're going to live forever in the transhumanist Neom. Right? You can come to our Neom city, our 5G Neom utopia. Right? Where you can buy yourself a new gender if you want. You could become a transhumanist, where even gender is commodified in the degenerating culture that we're growing up in because we're disconnected from our real foods, from our real heritage, from real ways of living. So, you got big money behind this. You got big investors investing in lab-grown meats, in the Beyond Burger, which is basically water, pea protein isolate, expeller-pressed canola oil, and cellulose, like Lord Birkenhead said. We'll feed these dullards cellulose, and we will... I mean, what government would be able to resist breeding a generation of dullards and peppering the population with some mural painters to amuse the little dullards as they prance around in their sex, drugs, rock and roll culture, worshipping celebrity idols? You got Tyson Foods, biggest investors, General Mills, Tyson Foods, Cleveland Avenue, Obvious Ventures. You got Bill Gates. He's not one of the top investors, but one of the major investors in Beyond Meat. So we're seeing the degeneration of our culture worldwide, eating meat and making families, really building our culture, building healthy communities, building healthy families, like every single culture has done, is very, very important. So we can't let these people gaslight us into giving up our heritage, giving up our children to these death cults, putting our children on freaking fruitarian diets. We cannot be gaslit into this. Someone says Alex Jones impression. You gotta get super male vitality. Shout out to, what's his face? Jay Dyer put some meme out. It was like, not next, sorry George Soros, not this time. I took my super male vitality. Alright folks, it's 12:30 a.m. This is an emergency broadcast from the Andes of Ecuador. I just had to get this off my chest. There's my sources in the CIA have told me that George Soros is trying to degenerate your cultures and make you eat soy. You gotta get super male vitality. You must fight the agenda. We've got a money bomb coming up. Ron Paul, 2030, Ron Paul's gonna turn it all around. You know, Trump's in there doing the... That's really bad Alex Jones impression. But right, I mean, you got... What a character that guy is. But really, we are seeing the degeneration of our culture, and we need to stop this. And we need to build healthy families. We need to build healthy bodies. And we need to understand we've got the documents. We've got the documents. We've got the freaking documents here. If you do an Alex Jones impression, you have to do a roar and rip tangy. We've got the documents. The Maori were eating tangy tangerine. They were taking super male vitality. And you demons, George Soros will not be degenerating us like goblins. Okay, too much. Alex Jones is freaking ridiculous. I'm not hating on Alex Jones. Alex Jones, don't get me blackballed. Need to get Alex in a carnivore diet. He says somebody. Man, I haven't watched him in a while. He's a funny guy, though. But, I mean, look, guys, this is real. Like, we're seeing the degeneration of culture. We're seeing this. We're seeing the degeneration of our culture. We're seeing the degeneration of good family values, traditional ways of preparing food, traditional ways of living off the land, of animal husbandry, and this needs to come back. We need good animal husbandry. We need good food production. We need the regeneration of our soil, the regeneration of families, and we need the real connection to life. Real spirituality, not this Osho, group sex, polyamory nonsense. Not to sterilize yourself in the name of spirituality. We need real, true connection. Right? This is one of the things that happens when cultures degrade. They start worshiping celebrities. You get the stars. It's like Crowley said, right? Everyone is a star. Now everyone's a star. Everyone's a social media star. Just quit trying to be social media stars and let's just be good parents. How about that? How about you be a good neighbor? How about you be a good husband, good wife? Not a fake, oh, I can't wait to post on Instagram how I gave $5 to this bum. Not this nonsense. Hypocrites. Let's stop. We need to stop being hypocrites in our own lives. How are we allowing this in our communities? What do we allow in our lives? What practices are we engaged in that bring us away from the truth? Away from real connection to life, to eternity, to God. Oh, the G word, right? Right, there's all this moral relativist nonsense that gets pushed on you through the Royal Society, through your television. But then they want you to pretend like there's some objective moral imperative to depopulate the world, to go vegan. Nonsense, guys. A&W already has an ad for the Beyond Burger, says somebody. Yeah, I pulled up the A&W on Joey Carbstrong was talking about, oh, people are demanding it. James asked me, just like, dude, people are demanding this meat. Like, go to A&W, get Beyond Meat. You can go over, just before I go to McDonald's with Joey, I smoke bong loads, but I have to do it in the other room because Joey gets really wild-eyed and crazy because it makes him crave meth again. This is freaking degenerates. We have to look at how we can make a difference. And it's not like we all gotta go, you don't have to go out there and preach in the streets to people. That doesn't do anything. You know, I do these streams. I try and portray a positive message with my content. But really it starts in your own home. How you treat people. How you treat your family. You know, teaching your kids good nutritional principles. Check out this book if you guys want to look at, you know, real nutritional principles of cultures that are healthy and happy, free of crime, free of degeneracy. This was just a little bit under 100 years ago that this was published. One of the most important books, Nutrition and Physical Degeneration by Weston Price. And we based a lot of the nutritional principles that we use in the Ketogenic Edge cookbook on the principles taught by these cultures. Right? You don't have to eat a ketogenic diet to be healthy. But every single culture in the world has always used animal fats, animal products, they're not products. They're called animal products. Like, foods are not products. Foods don't have to come shrink wrapped. So stop eating gerbil food. Stop accepting soy boy degeneracy. And eat meat and make families. We've got the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. If you guys want to support the channel, if you guys like the content, check it out. We finally got it available in print. If you've got a former vegan testimony, you want to come on the stream and share, even if you're shy, just come on. It's fun. We'll be nice. The audience is nice. I ban the trolls. So I want to thank Claudine for coming on. Beautiful, sweet woman coming on, telling her story of being duped into a vegan cult for like 18 years, having massive degeneration in her body and mind, and then after just a week of eating real foods again, she went from being able to do 3 push-ups, which is almost as much as Dr. Greger's staggering 4 push-ups, to doing like what she said, 20, right? 20 push-ups. It's a week. It's insane. So again, thanks for joining, guys. The Keto Collective starts this Sunday. The next round of the Keto Collective, you're not going to see me doing as many streams next month. The Keto Collective is starting on Sunday. Our live group community coaching, really, really fun. We do at least 2 live voice sessions per week. And essentially our goal is to equip you with everything you need in order to make lasting lifestyle changes, in order to get the results that you want. So the Keto Collective starts on Sunday. That's going to be really, really fun. I should have plugged that earlier. It's really fun to have this like intimate setting where we do coaching, where we get a lot of like private coaching clients. And I'm always thinking, man, I wish this client could connect with this one and they could share each other's experiences, because you see a lot of the same things coming up. So it's really fun to do the Keto Collective because people are able to converse with each other, to help each other out. And it's been really, really fun to to kind of facilitate that process. We do several lectures a week, but then we also do live interactive voice chats, and we run it on a Discord server. So we use a Discord server. We're not just doing it on a, just give you a Facebook group, give you macros, and tell you to be off. Now, Jessica's been working all week on the journaling packet. A lot of people really like the journaling, incorporating that into their life. A lot of people enjoy, what else does she do? She worked really, really hard on the meal prep packet. So like we teach you how to actually do your own meal prep, how to do your own meal prep. So there's a link in the description down below for the Keto Collective. It's the second link down below. The first one is for the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. So if you want to support us, we don't have a Patreon or anything like that. What we do is we try to offer products and services that actually are valuable. And our thing with the Keto Collective, we wanted to give you the most value. We wanted to be able to give people more content, more interaction, and a better coaching experience than when people even do private coaching. So we do it for cheaper than I do private coaching, but you get more FaceTime with us. With private coaching, I do 1 Skype meeting per month. We communicate via email. Most of the time, the clients get on the right path after that 1 Skype meeting and need almost 0 adjustments. The goal is to teach you how to do this long term. Adjust it yourself. You don't need to be coming back to us for coaching all the time. Like, this is not hard to do. You implement certain practices. You learn how to get your macros right if you're doing keto. Not everybody's even doing keto, but most people in the Keto Collective are starting keto. Most people are doing it for fat loss or to get their life back after a degenerate vegan or vegetarian diet long term. So our goal is to teach you all the principles to do it long term and how to not have to come back to us for coaching. So we're trying to actually send out people into the world who are going to be better coaches than all these other people trying to sell you coaching on the internet. All right, everyone. So we use a Discord server, and it's a really fun live community coaching session that we do for 4 weeks. And the next one is starting on the 29th, which is Sunday. That's 6 days from now. So Sunday, the next Keto Collective starts. We're excited. There are spots left. Usually the last week is when the most people sign up, right? So hit us up, the link below for the Keto Collective community coaching. That's going to be really fun. And, all right, guys, eat meat and make families.